You're watching Suckprofessor. Hello, everybody. It's me, Hank. I'm joined by... James! Oh, man. James, Westworld Season 2, Episode 1.
It's here.
Do you remember the name of the episode?
Journey into Night.
Oh, good job. I actually thought I might be catching you there.
I think it's called Journey into Night.
Can't get any past James. Well, you're just thinking about your favorite prom night song,
Could be,
huh?
yeah.
Welcome, everybody. Holy moly. It's been a long wait. It's been a long time. Was it last year? September-ish?
It feels like it was at least 12 years ago.
Feels longer than that. Yeah, it does. But yeah, we're going to do the same thing we did last time. Shot-by-shot breakdowns. We're going to go through lots of screenshots. We got a whole bunch. We got lots of spoilers coming up. Real quick, I know this is everybody wants to get to the action. I just want to welcome our returning viewers, welcome our Patreon supporters, welcome Patreon supporters. I'll learn the name eventually. And also just to new people, just so you know, this is sort of a...
nude people.
Nude people. Yeah, I want people to be nude, but not sinners, so block your nipples with black construction paper. To new people, because, you know, the Westworlds, we get extra traffic around here, around these parts. There's kind of like a podcast sort of discussion, it can be a little rambly. We do share, you know, we have fun. Our point here is to enjoy reliving this episode with our own reactions, and our conversation is just the start of a conversation that we hope continues in the comments and on Twitter and in angry, upset emails from people when they find out that I have different political beliefs. No, it's not about politics at all.
I believe in all politics.
Oh, you're a pantheist or pan-politicist.
I support everything.
Yeah, I'm a monopolitic. Yes. But anyway, so just so you're aware, this is supposed to be fun. We might get some details wrong. Our spirit is to be as accurate as we can, but we don't sit here and claim to be we're not Samwise Gamgee here. Is that the right reference? Game of Thrones.
No, this is the one with Jon Snow's in
Jon Snow.
This show.
John. Yeah. Anyway, I get my shows confused.
Yeah.
So that said, James, anything to add?
Nope. Let's do it.
Let's quit looking at the HBO logo and keep. Okay. So we opened up. By the way, first episode of a new season. James goes, "Do we have a new opening?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, hell yeah, we do." And of course,
I immediately said no, because this looks like the same thing. The music's the same, everything's the same. But then it turned itself on, you know.
Yep. We get a whole different opening. It seems like a similar style, obviously.
Yeah, very similar aesthetics.
Yeah, we got these crazy.
I think that shot might actually be the same as it was, because that looks really familiar to me.
Man,
like
that bone looks realistic. Not that I've spent a lot of time staring at bones. But
now I'm assuming that's a knee.
I'm getting a knee vibe off of that.
I don't know.
Is that a patella?
I don't know.
That doesn't look
like
a patella.
Doctor.
That could be an elbow. Actually, I think this might be the upper arm. I don't know.
Whatever.
Boy, it's amazing that we can rotate our fists. Yeah. Isn't that cool? Sorry, everybody.
This is like a little space station there docking or something.
Kinda, yeah. On a rib planet.
Well,
so this is a buffalo.
Yeah, it's the vertebrae.
Yeah, we're not going to do this for every single opening, guys. This is just because this is all new stuff to us. Luke Hemsworth. Mm-hmm. Wow, I wonder if he's ever met Chris Hemsworth.
Nah, I don't.
Buffalo. They're really pushing this buffalo thing. I think this is supposed to symbolize Maeve. In the trailer, they showed that the buffalo was running in slow motion, knocking over the dudes, while Maeve was kind of walking behind it, commanding her forces. It could
also symbolize like the Wild West, back when the plains were being colonized by the white man, had the buffalo were there. It was native. It was their land. It was their world, and they were hunted to extinction by the white man. They were basically forced out and had to fight for their right to survive in a place of barbed wire and train tracks and things.
And superior technology.
Yeah, and
like trains and guns.
They lost out in a big way.
Yeah. Are you saying the buffalo? And so maybe the buffalo are like,
a host buffalo could be a symbolic gesture towards that.
Right on. I like it. I like that. Yeah. That's the angled thing on the front of the train. It's like
the cow catcher.
Cow catcher. I always called them a rhubar, which is what for running over kangaroos, because Australians are savages.
No.
But they're also, I remember hearing about it in the context of the buffalo herds, too. They just would drive right through. Jesus.
Well, we're trying to push them out of the way, but I'm sure it caused some sort of damage.
The train conductors couldn't resist being like, speed up.
Well, it's not like they're going to say, swerve left, hit that buffalo.
I know, but you go slow to a 2 mile per hour, or you go up to like a 50 mile an hour, and you really explode those fucking buffaloes. All right, let's keep going. New weird little chemical sci-fi thingy there. I don't know what this musical instrument is. I've never seen one of these before. Just joking. Oh, look, a Swedish person. I don't know. One of those Norwegian Viking actors. But this piano playing was very fluid. Yeah. It was kind of like a skeleton having a good time at a piano place. And then we got this whole baby, mom holding a round-headed baby image.
So it makes me wonder if this was kind of inspired by Maeve, because it seems like in this first episode and in the prior season, Maeve's defining trait is that she wants to find her daughter. She has this maternal instinct. She has this connection to another host, even though she is completely aware that it's a narrative, that it's not real, that she herself believes herself to be real, therefore her daughter must, by extension, be real as well.
It would be overwhelming for her to find out her daughter's not real.
Right, so this is like humanizing the hosts
yes,
in a big way.
Certainly, and I also think on top of that, it speaks to the general symbolism of birth, rebirth, babies. You know, like sci-fi, Space Odyssey with the baby in space looking at everything. Similar vibe I get off of that. Kind of a weird miscellaneous baby that represents everybody, but also these robots might figure out how to reproduce. They might come up, maybe they'll just print new babies, but that's their way of doing it.
It's Control-C, Control-V.
Yeah, it's
very easy.
It's update your BIOS.
Yeah.
And do a firmware upgrade. All right. Okay, so then, I don't know, there's something about the thing. This was a strange shot. It was like a machine combing hair.
Yeah, like a loom almost.
Yeah, but it was separating the strands, but it's obviously clumping them too at the same time.
In which direction was it moving in? Because it looks like the hair is more realistic at the bottom, and it gets...
Oh, really? I thought it was like, this is after the comb, this is on its way to be combed.
I think that's how it was, but it seems to me like it's moving in reverse.
Oh, it could be. I don't know. I think you should... okay, all right, I was going to say something really stupid there. Don't worry, I got plenty more where that came from. Yeah, so I don't know. That was an odd one. Is that supposed to be Dolores, though, with the blonde hair? Is that blonde? I don't know.
Could be.
Gray or
it's hard to tell in black and white grayscale.
So now we got a buffalo flying through the air or something, or I don't remember. But these things are doing something to it, I guess. And it's real artistic and fancy. You know,
it's after they just took the wings off. Buffalo wings.
Yeah, that's where they get buffalo sauce.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so then we got another shot of the mom and the baby. And very good. We're going to have some robot babies. And then this is different, too. You know, so we do have this classic kind of Leonardo,
which looks a lot like Dolores. So I think we speculated in season 1 that that's kind of a model of Dolores.
Oh yeah, it does seem to have a feminine quality to it, kind of like when you walk by a feminine mannequin and you're like, oh, should I be aroused or not? This is weird. Okay, you know, the Victoria's Secret, they don't like it when you ask for the posters. They're like, no, get out of here. I go, I'll be back on Halloween, motherfuckers. And okay, finally the logo.
The logo of Wonder Woman.
Now we start. What are we? 20 minutes in?
Yeah.
Oh, did you say Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman, yep.
Kind of is in a way, if you think about it. Boom, Bernard. Okay, so this opening scene was a conversation between Bernard and Dolores in a very familiar setting to both of them, the kind of interrogation chamber sort of debrief.
Clearly was happening in the past. This is not in the present at all. This is back when Dolores was not yet fully realized in her coming of, what's the word? Not coming of age, but coming of awareness.
Booting up?
Yeah, where she basically breaks the maze and emerges as a self-sentient character.
Right. Oh, okay, go. I thought that you were going to say more. So this is Bernard talking.
About his dream.
Yeah, he was telling her about a dream she asked about. This was an interesting moment because he said, I was with you and someone else. And then she asked, were you with us? And I think she meant, were you part of our group or were you not? Right? That's how I read it.
It seems like it because he says something like we were all together on an ocean or something like that, which is kind of a weird way of phrasing it. But he does say that no, you left me. You left me behind.
Yeah. So he'd been abandoned by them apparently.
Right, and the waters were rising, and he was in peril. And she asks exactly, what does it mean? And he says essentially that it doesn't mean anything. Yeah. Dreams don't always have to have a definitive.
Which, as people remember, the role dreams play is as a cover for any vestigial memories, quote unquote, that the hosts have. So they're supposed to look at anything that lingers from when they're in the backstage areas or their past lives. That's supposed to all just sort of register their consciousnesses, quote unquote, consciousness as a dream. Right. So dreams play a huge role in this show.
And we know that she's already having reveries. We know that all the hosts in the park experience dreams in some capacity as a kind of part of their new awakening that we saw in season 1. So we know that she's looking into Bernard as he says this, and she knows through his minor cues and tonnage in his voice and things that he's not being completely honest, because he knows that these things are real, that these are fragments of things that have meaning. And then this is a great scene here though, because she asks him what is the difference between something that is real and something that is not real, and he defines something as real as something that is irreplaceable. And it's almost as though he's basically looking back at the death of his own son. He's looking at a woman in front of him who's Dolores, who we don't quite know who the original Dolores was and what she meant to Bernard, or meant to Arnold actually, or what that whole relationship is. But I got kind of an impression that he was using this to say that you are not real because you represent something that I could not replace. And my son was real because he's gone now and I couldn't replace him.
Oh, okay.
I think this scene here is going to mean a lot more by the time season 2 is over.
So okay, interesting. I got you. So the way to heal from a dead child is to make another one. Right. And then you can claim it never existed to begin with.
But if I recall correctly from season 1, was Dolores not the first host creation by Arnold?
I thought she was, wasn't she?
I think she was.
That was a big deal.
Right, and I think that he made her for a very specific purpose, because she was someone important to him on the outside. Maybe even his wife. I don't know that for a fact.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to be a big reveal in season 2.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to harken back to this scene.
Yeah. I got some ex-girlfriends. I could be like, if I ever invent robots, I'll be like, which one of you am I going to turn into the first one? And then they would probably sue me or something.
Yes.
Okay, so they all live in the same bunk bed. All right, so then she calls him out on this not being totally honest here, because she kind of knows there's more to the dreams.
And he realizes just how nuanced her mind is working, how she can see into his personality, how she knows that he's lying, and he himself knows that he's lying. Which is what sparks him to say, sometimes you frighten me, Dolores, not because of who you are now, but because of who you might become, because of how quickly you are learning and how quickly you are growing.
Yeah, and
that's a creepy line.
It is, especially with that kind of real nice smile. That's sort of like, oh, really? It's as what is he, the head of behavior? They gaslight the hosts, and it works no matter what because they're software. But now that the gaslighting doesn't work, that's scary. Which I guess why us human beings, those of us that are resistant to having our realities distorted, we are harder to. We're not robots. That was a terrible point. I don't think I made any sense. All right, so so this scene, but you're growing. So he's seeing that she's changing. But okay, James, where in the timeline is this occurring?
This is obviously in the past, and this is what kind of confused me a little bit in this opening episode, is that there seems to be 2 timelines going on with Bernard. And we're going to get into that a little bit more.
Okay.
But it seems as though we have the present Bernard and then we have the past Bernard. And I don't mean the past Bernard. I mean the relatively past Bernard, as in like a day before or a few hours before. It seems like there's 2 narratives with him that don't quite connect, and there's a gap between the 2 of them, and I don't quite know what happens between those gaps, but I think it's going to be filled in as we get further into the season.
Okay, yes, and as we learn right after this sequence, we get a bunch of black screens and flashbacky stuff to Bernard. Now look, he's in the same place where they had Old Bill or Wild Bill when Dr. Ford was down here in one of the earlier season 1 episodes, and I didn't get all screenshots of these, but because they were all kind of quick and flying by. But so they keep showing Bernard in different spots. This is him watching the Dr. Ford get his head about to be blown off.
And that previous one was the first time they allowed him to urinate.
Where this? Oh, it feels so good. It is one of life's simple pleasures. I gotta say that and how when you put your leg outside of a blanket, it's kind of comfortable.
Until that hand touches it from under the bed.
Ooh, I just got goosebumps. And it turns out to be James's hand. I wish. You guys got the softest skin this side of the Mississippi, I tell you. All right, so then this is just part of Bernard's what he saw because she murdered. But then
This is new.
Boom, yeah, what?
This here makes me wonder if what we're looking at here is not the original Dolores.
There's no way to tell.
I'm going to put my chips on the table and say that it is.
Okay.
That this is his wife. This is a flashback of meeting the real Arnold and the real Dolores.
All right, yeah.
Because what she's wearing, you don't see hosts ever wearing that.
True. Yes. Maybe. Perhaps. Well, the hosts who welcome the people to the park.
They're wearing white.
White, yes, but those are contemporary clothing, like sleek, elegant dresses and suits and stuff.
But look at the happiness in his face as he looks at her.
Well, of course.
I don't think that's a look that you get out of Bernard, in this context, Arnold, if he was looking at a host.
He hasn't been withered by 2 or 3 decades of running a robot rape factory.
Right. I think these were the good days.
That'll wear your soul down a little bit. So this is before. Yeah, maybe that's the case. And it's Evan Rachel Wood. Come on.
We know he's got a thing for white women.
Yeah, we don't we all? I guess.
He eventually murdered one of them, but
Wait, he murders a white woman?
Teresa.
Oh yeah, he murdered her?
Well, I mean, he was. Dr. Ford forced him to. He choked her out.
Oh yeah. Why don't I remember that?
That's a major scene from season 1.
All right, yeah. Well, by the way, not just white women. I like all the women.
Okay.
I don't just to be clear with that. All right.
All the single ladies.
Except those fucking Santa women Did that make any sense?
No.
No. All right. I was thinking like the elves, but then that sounded horrible. I don't want to.
Yeah.
They're just captives to Santa's capitalistic toy factory. Okay. All right. This is awkward. I'm sorry, buddy. Okay. So then another thing. There's Beauty in What We Are. So this is before she kills Dr.
These are more the flashes.
Yeah, more
Bernard
the
is
flashy
having.
stuff. And then this is also a flashy thing where he's in the map room there, right? But a buffalo runs over a guy, right? Isn't that what this shot
Is that
was?
a buffalo that we're looking at right
It
now?
was some kind of animal, wasn't it? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell from that screenshot.
I tend to phase out every once in a while.
We do know from the trailers that buffaloes were kind of wreaking havoc and killing people in this area of the...
I just recall wasn't there an impact or it's yeah, I don't know. Maybe somebody's fallen off a horse. Maybe they had a mechanical bull in the middle of the room. And
Maybe. I don't know.
For bachelorette parties.
Yeah.
All right, but is this now? So
Yeah,
there's your...
Yeah, so even he is sort of like going back to good old...
Like when you wake
Twin
up
Peaks.
when you wake up at the dentist's office.
Yeah, he's in the lodge. Is this now or is this later? Which is a great candy now and later.
Well, if you've ever dabbled with insanity, as I have, you do lose track of time a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean maybe not time per se, but I could see that this isn't. But what I'm saying is losing track of time or feeling time contractions or stretching or whatever gaps. That's not a symptom that's unique to robots. I mean, people. I'm saying human brains do that all the time.
Right, and this whole episode this is kind of setting the pace for Bernard's, what's the word, deconstruction. He's basically ceasing to function correctly.
Right.
He's breaking down.
Yeah, we see a lot of that in this episode. So, all right, speaking of that, salt water is terrible for electronics.
Mm-hmm.
So here he is waking up in salt water. This is The Hangover Part 4.
This is symbolic of his rebirth. Water is a symbol of life.
Whoa. Oh, is Anthony Hopkins in the room? Jeez. Hey, look out, there's a bear.
That's what a 6th grade English teacher might start going in. Look for the metaphors and similes and analogies and the hero's journey.
I remember in high school when you're supposed to come up with all kinds of bullshit about those books they forced you to read. I'd be like,
a lot of it's bullcrap.
You're just making stuff up so we can have a conversation, which I guess that's actually fine. I mean,
green is the color.
Sort of sums up my life, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah. So, what time is on the watch?
Yes.
I can't tell. So this is midnight, right? Mm-hmm. Or what do they call it? The 12?
The 12.
So this is why is this so hard for me? This is 3:45. Wouldn't that be correct? Because this is his left hand, and so this is his outside of it. That's why I'm having a hard time because I don't know what it's 6 or the 12 side is.
I don't think it really matters because in Westworld, time is irrelevant.
Oh,
because
plus,
they can just make it whatever time they want, whenever they want.
I'm just assuming the watch stopped because something bad happened, and that's not how watches work.
Yeah.
That's how they work in movies and stuff. Yeah. Okay. So, oh no, stand on the face. By the way, sex on the beach, everybody, no fun. I've never done it, never even gotten close, but I've had bad sex in beds, and I'm sure the beach is worse.
I do like how in season 1 it seems like the people who were in control, the people that were kind of like the people pulling the ropes from behind the stage,
the puppet masters,
were the ones who had watches on.
Oh.
Because we saw Bernard with a watch, and we saw Dr. Ford with his famous Alice in Wonderland pocket watch that he would pull out.
Right, and it'd be weird if the hosts all had watches, other than
it'll be an anachronism.
Yeah, like a fancy gold one and a string.
Yeah.
On a chain. I mean. What do you pour? You putting a watch on a string like a loser? Okay,
now
so
this is Bug Lady.
Bug Lady. Yeah, look at those eyes. But these are like troops.
This is clearly military.
Yeah,
commandos.
Commando types. Yeah, I'm just going with Delta Force for some reason, but they're real intense. And she's like, "Show your hands!"
Yeah,
and
identify yourself.
Stubbs interrupts.
She was about to off Bernard.
She wasn't.
But Stubbs recognized them, runs over there and says, "Stop! What are you going to do? You're going to shoot the boss?" Because Stubbs recognizes Bernard as one of the head of behavior. He's his boss.
He's a boss. He's one of the top guys.
But Stubbs does not know that Bernard is a host.
Now, does Bernard know that he's a host?
Yeah, I believe he does. Okay. I mean, I think he's pretty self-aware of that.
Well, it doesn't, but I'm only asking because it can get turned off. Like that whole thing can just get dropped. I don't know. It's like they all have these veils that temporarily illuminate their truth, and then that doesn't stick around. Or I'm just making up bullshit.
There's something that happens later in the episode that convinces me that Bernard is self-aware, that he knows what he is, and he's hesitant to be found out.
Well, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
When we get there, I'll call it out in more detail.
All right, cool, great. I like the swearing though. What's this guy doing? Been watching this channel? By the way, I'm going to try swear less.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just it's an ugly thing to do, and I'm tired of being mocked by my enemies. All right, so Yeah, okay, so he saves Bernard there, but then she's got a thing of people. Now, I kind of wish I had, I should be a little more clear, a deck of cards.
She's got a rookie Bernard card, a rookie Arnold. It's worth a fortune.
Yeah.
She saved it from the park before the host took over.
He batted .279 that year, which isn't great, but it showed promise, and so they kept him around, and he just developed into a real mature player, just knew everything. He knew how to control the behavior of all the other baseball players.
That was back when they could only afford red ink.
Yeah, they had one tone, red scale. Now, but what I wish that I had been more aggressive with the button, with the print screen button here, because I could have, we can't really, that has a Maeve look to it a little bit, but it'd be weird if Maeve was in this pile, because I think this is like the board members and VIPs.
Yeah, my theory is basically these are the do not shoot on sight, do not kill, rescue at all possible options, high priority to recover.
Yes.
And Bernard is obviously in there because he's the head of behavior, and whoever printed these up and whoever set the security protocols obviously did not also know that he was a host.
Right.
That was information that was reserved strictly for Dr. Ford.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like that Bernard just has the permanent reading glasses thing, like he doesn't ever, only from when things are close up. Why did I add that? That didn't illuminate the conversation at all. Yeah. But
those they do not look like the glasses he's currently wearing.
I think they are.
I don't think they are. I think that the frames are a little bit more boxy and thicker on the one he has now.
No, I'm thinking you're wrong.
Well, actually, the ones he has on now are gone because he's not wearing them.
Oh, well, yeah. But the ones that, okay, whatever. We can argue about that.
Would it be funny if they shoot him anyway and say, it's not him! Look, there's no glasses!
The glasses are a millimeter different.
It's the reverse Clark Kent.
Yeah. So, but we talked about this in the short recap review, but we think this is protect list, not a capture.
Right, and the point that I made is that this one face you see down here, who you call the Robert De Niro guy, looks like he's got a modern haircut, looks like he's in modern times, does not look like someone from the Wild West, which tells me he's probably an executive, a board member, someone that they're looking to save.
And there'd be a lot of liability issues going on. One, a whole party of the most rich people, the top brass of the company, and probably their family and friends. A bunch of them got murdered. Yeah, and this would be a huge deal.
And furthermore, if it was something that depicted the faces of the host, she'd have like 5,000 cards in her hand, dropping them everywhere. Yeah, there would be a heck of a lot to go through.
Like Pokemon cards. Do they have Pokemon cards?
That's way after my time.
Right. I'm so glad neither of us know that answer.
And I know there are Pokemon cards.
I assume there are. Okay. So anyway. Chairs and stuff, and how fucking long you been out here, man? And so anyway, Bernard, whatever, he's fine. So they get a ride in a cool dune buggy. I thought this thing was kind of neat, although they didn't really show it much there. I'm trying to back up. Look at that. The wheel is far away from the front.
Yeah, one thing that I think that you may have missed in the screenshots, or maybe it hasn't happened yet, but on the beach there was a lot of scenes where they were shooting the hosts on the beach, the hosts that remained.
We're getting to that.
Okay, so you've got
Don't worry. Okay. Yeah, there's plenty to come here. Cool. So actually, some of the... so, all right, this is a thing. Now...
Oh, one thing I did forget.
Go ahead.
The cards.
Okay.
It made me wonder in the short breakdown is that why are they identifying people with cards? Why aren't they using their little iPad things? Mm-hmm. And it makes me think that they don't want to go into the park carrying technology with them, because technology could potentially be used against them, because they know that people like Maeve or people have gotten into the core AI of the park, gotten into the controls, and like they said, the inmates are running the asylum. So they want to stay off the grid from a technology standpoint. And they also said somewhere in this part of the episode that the grid was down, the network was down.
Yeah. This is the equivalent of when you go on a road trip, or really it's just good advice in general. You should have like important phone numbers written down somewhere. Yeah. I know my phone number and like one other guy's, my dad's house. And like, so I would be so everybody, I think.
It's kind of funny that
you should have some hard copy. There's a time where...
But when you and I were younger, we always had to memorize our friends' phone numbers.
Everything.
You just had to remember it.
You just got used to...
Yeah, it was not something that you could just put in your phone and just,
I'm old enough to remember when long distance, we would stress out about paying for long distance phone calls.
Too. Yeah, because...
Oh, God, geez, we don't have enough time to call somebody 14 miles away.
No, I once got like a $3,000 phone bill because I had my own phone line for my dial-up internet.
Yeah.
And then the phone company rezoned or something, and they changed my ISP to be like 1 mile outside of my local area without telling me.
Oh, man.
And then suddenly that became a long distance call, and I was connected for like days on end, and then I get this like $3,000 phone bill. I was like, what the F?
Did you get it resolved?
Yes, they did. I didn't have to pay it.
Okay.
It was absurd.
That's great. I could tell you some funny stories about the AOL CDs that we used to do, but maybe on the Patreon podcast, guys. Yeah. Get on our Patreon if you want to hear. We are going to talk a lot about Westworld. Hold on, I'm just plugging the Patreon thing. This is the part that makes us both uncomfortable. But try our Patreon. All right. So this brought up a lot of stuff for me. What?
I told you we're going to get... You got to block out the dinghies.
Oh, the dinghy. Sorry, everybody. I know there's huge inflated dinghies in front of you.
Big black dinghies. You can't do this.
Big black girthy dinghies. Those are, boy, man, have at it. Enjoy it, ladies. You deserve a fun trip.
What I was going to say, are those warships back there?
Well, that's what I noticed. I thought how amazing. Okay, not amazing. This is like a cool, modern, fancy warship. I'm sure it's fast. This is like a battleship. But is Westworld, and forgive me if this information is out there somewhere, but I thought Westworld was a contained room, like a huge Truman Show.
We know,
but apparently,
based on this episode, that's not the fact.
Well,
that's
right.
not the truth.
But okay, remember when they went into Shogun World? They cross over that bridge thing,
Yes.
but that's only one side of the square. Like if two cubes are near each other, so I can't say I've seen all four sides of the cube, so to speak. But the presence of big warships and that they didn't arrive by train, they came in here by ship, tells me that they are on the surface of the Earth, right? Or
I guess so, yes.
And that they're, because somebody referred to it, they called it an island, and so
yes,
it
this
could,
particular one, yes.
which makes, makes sense, like that they I was kind of hoping it's all like this, mole people living underneath layers of plastic garbage in like the year 3500 or something like that. But because does anybody really know when the hell Westworld takes place? Or where the hell they are, or whatever.
If they've divulged those details, I've completely missed them.
Like, is it even in the modern global order?
Well,
like with America being America, Japan being Japan, China being China, you know what I mean?
Okay,
Russia being,
was,
or is it like the whole world is just all this jumble of corporations?
There was a moment,
and escape parks,
and it's
stuff.
Coming up pretty soon, where I believe, and I could be wrong about this, but someone references people as being Chinese.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
And that's the first time they've ever said anything like that. I've never heard the term American or Canadian or European or anything like that. So that does kind of establish that this is the world that we know, but how far in the future, how have things progressed, I don't know.
I vaguely recall, and I could be wrong, but wasn't there some reference to like Chinese investors about the corporate, like
there may have been
the
for
first
Delos.
season? Yeah, for Delos. Yeah. I think I recall something like that. But anyway, that does ground us a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay, so
we know we're not on Mars.
But I really don't. That's good. Yeah, we're not on Mars. So then they get up on the beach. Look at this guy's sunglasses, though, huh? Those are pretty cool.
No, he's like the father from Far Cry 5.
Yeah, or the guy outside. That's not. Or the guy outside the billboard in Minority Report. You know, the final scene in Minority Report where Tom Cruise is running around and stuff. The plants, they have a soul. Whoa, everybody look out. All right, so there's Bernard. He's just he's a little out of sorts, though. He doesn't know what's going on. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, he just doesn't seem to be... but everything seems overwhelming to him, which I understand.
This kind of correlates to his dream, because I dreamt I was on an ocean, but you weren't with me. You had left me. So now he feels like he's abandoned. He's left because he's among all these humans. He's the wolf in sheep's clothing, so to speak. He's out of place. He's paranoid. He could be killed or found out at any moment. His people, the hosts, have left him.
He's going through some sort of weird physical symptoms, kind of like when you have too much coffee.
Yeah, his hands are shaking. He's having flashbacks. His memory is fuzzy.
He's urinating in his pants on the bus.
Yes.
You don't do that when you have too much...
No.
We should move on. And then this shot was pretty cool.
So remember that time I said that they were not using technology? Total lie. Well,
of course they are.
They have to use something.
Yeah. Well, the cards don't mean you don't have technology. It just means you are good to go if your technology fails. That's what that means. But this is...
They throw him down and saying, I choose you, Bernard. Use your fireball attack.
Charizard.
Yes.
Is it Charbernard?
Charnard.
Wolfman's got Nard. Wolfman's got Nards. That's from a movie somewhere. There's a guy making sandcastles of the same model here, though. That's their offline analog. But this is just kind of a cool moment. I'm glad that they included this shot here. They got this sort of remote setup thing, and very good. All right.
I'd be the guy who could walk by and knock over one of the antennas. Sorry. Half the map collapses.
I'd be the guy who'd stagger into it, and then I'd be sterile. Because it would just like zap your balls. You're like, oh, whoa. And then I would be like, sweet. I've always wanted to be sterile. I would love to be sterile. I would totally get sterilized. I don't want to have kids.
I don't think
my DNA is awful. I come from terrible people. My DNA needs to end, and I am doing everything I can to end it by being unlikable to women.
But being sterile does not necessarily also mean that you're immune to STDs and things.
Yeah. That's why God invented fingernails, James. Scratch them off. Like, that's why they're called the original Scratch and Sniff.
Yeah.
See, making it worse.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay. All right. So this is the scene James has been looking forward to, the part where a bunch of innocent people get murdered.
Yeah. So it's very hard to pretend like you're an actual person and not a host when you come to the beach dressed like that.
You mean like
That
these guys?
That is not beachwear.
Yeah, this is not beachwear, but
Yes.
neither is what these guys. I mean, these guys
Well,
are
I mean,
soldiers.
yeah, still.
I just didn't know what you meant by that.
I don't think an Amish dress is really,
Could be. You
a
know,
little
hey,
conspicuous.
you know what? Why not? And then okay, so but anyway, they seem to be executing these hosts. It is pretty grisly. And then Stephen Ogg, right, the actor here, who also plays Trevor in GTA 5.
And plays Simon on The Walking Dead, which I will say nothing of because a major plot point around his character happened recently that was really kind of interesting.
Oh, all right. Hey, everybody, check it out on our other shot by shots. We didn't do it.
Yep.
Sorry. All right. So anyway, he jumps in and he's sorry. That's just it. Sometimes you get the right moment. He saves her. He's such a noble fella. He's like,
Right.
He goes, "You won't kill a woman." He's a terrible guy. He's a big murderer.
And his name in the show is
Steve
Rebus.
Steve. I had the middle, second, the third letter correct. Yep. E. Yeah. So anyway, take that, Stevis. And then he goes down. He's dead. Look at this guy's beard. What is that? Some fucking Ask Who beard? What's that game? Guess Who? Guess Who? Not Ask Who.
Ask Who.
Ask Who. That's a police lineup. Yeah. So. Yeah, they kill him, and he gets dragged off onto a pile. But as they're kind of walking by, they just keep hearing gunshots, so they're slowly killing the people. And Bernard's kind of like, oh look, there's a shot there.
Yeah, it's more awkward for him because he knows what he is and who he is, and
right.
he knows that he is in extreme danger right here. He's looking at his own people being killed, and he's only being spared of it because Stubbs recognized him because his face was on a card.
Yeah, and he can't. What's he going to do? Stop him?
And the other thing was they were actually holding scanners up to the heads to make sure that these are actually not guests in the park, then they're actually hosts. And luckily, no one's holding a scanner up to Bernard's head.
Yeah, I don't think any of the guests want the full experience of being executed by a paramilitary team.
And when that was happening, I was thinking, well, what is that scanner going to pick up on? Because I always thought that the hosts were like completely biological, just like people were, that it would be hard to distinguish between one and the other. But we do find out very soon what that scanner was picking up on.
Oh, all right, okay, and so then we meet this bald guy who looks like Michael Stipe if he was in a frat. This is the Chinese reference. So these guys are speaking. This is like Chinese military.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very terrible I mean, it'd be great camouflage if you were like in an 8-bit duck hunt game or something.
Well, the American military uses this too.
I know. This is terrible. It's like it makes you stand out.
Indeed. However, I always defer to those who know more than I do, and I imagine people who make camouflage for the military probably have a little more expertise than me or you.
I've looked at one screenshot. I'm an expert.
I guess that works. Quick, hurry, notify the military. But anyway, so yeah, this guy's talking to China. So there's obviously a vested Chinese interest to the point where they have military types around. Maybe a lot of times militaries partner up with each other. And
we know there's multiple other parks. There's Shogun World, which I assume is a Japanese themed world. There's other types of worlds out there. And in something like this amount of money, there has to be other investors, other countries, other mega conglomerations that have to go into this as well. And when something goes haywire, they're going to want to come in and try and rectify things on their behalf. But this guy is coming in, and I forget, he was not the head of... Carl Strand, he was the head of what?
I thought he said operations.
I think you're right. It may be operations. Yeah. And he recognizes Bernard and says, "Oh, you're head of behavior, right?" And actually kind of throws him under the bus. There you go.
All right.
Throws him under the bus and says, "Well, technically, if if this is going down, you're kind of responsible for this.
Right.
You're the head of behavior. You need to tell me what's going on here." And then he kind of scolds Ashley Stubbs and says, "I don't really want your opinion on something because you presided over the single biggest loss of life in Delos history."
And Ashley Stubbs is going, "Man, fuck you. My name is worse than yours. Stubbs is a terrible name." That's what he said.
Yeah.
So, but by the way, just back it up a little bit. So this is the scanning thing that this guy was doing on the hosts here. Look at this poor host. She's all fucking scared. But do you want to explain what you think they're scanning, or is that for later?
Well, it's going to come up in just a couple of minutes.
All right, a couple of minutes coming up here. But anyway, yeah, this guy's being a dick, though. He's real shitty to Stubbs.
He's asserting his authority.
Yeah. He's like,
I'm in charge now. I call the shots.
It's a big mess. This is a lot of problems, and it's also a fluid situation. It's not even over. On a Delos property, I'll be sure to let you know. So yeah, he says, "Get out of here, pal." This is where most of the board was when the incident begins. So they're at the chair.
So I'm wondering at this point, when most of the board was here, is this the place where the big scene was done between Dolores and Teddy? in the water.
I think so, yeah.
And they were all in the chairs watching from the beach, and then they moved to the gala where Dr. Ford got shot. And
my only evidence to say yes is what the guy just said, and the chairs were strewn about. So yeah, I think so. And yeah, that's probably that. Anyway, so Bernard's just kind of taking it all in. There's lots of people being shot. There's corpses. Now these are Ghost Nation and cowboy and like host bodies, so it's a mix. And I'd like to know what was... Yeah, this is where the guy makes him cut open one of the bodies.
Right, which is what I was getting to, what they were actually scanning. So he's talking to a tech. The tech is basically saying,
Mr. Costa.
I can't do this out here. This isn't a sterile environment. And he's like, you know what? Extenuating circumstances require, extraordinary actions. Yep. Go down there, get it done. Show me what was on his mind. What was the last thing he saw?
Yeah, dig out the black box, so we need to see what happened to this Prius before it smashed into the In-N-Out burger.
And I think they made a representation that what was on this beach was the aftermath that existed 2 weeks after the initial event.
What?
I think they did
this
say
is 2 weeks later?
I think they said it was 2 weeks, yeah.
Is that... So it's not the day after?
Well, no, I think this was 2 weeks after.
Yeah, maybe it was. You know what?
Because there's two timelines. This is the present, and then we jump back to see what happened to Bernard that led up to these events.
Yeah.
So this is about 2 weeks.
I just totally had it in my brain that him being on the beach was the day after. Like he ran.
No, I mean, it took some time for those warships to get here, for these guys to get here, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. And plus, there's another thing later that was confusing to me, which now is not confusing if it's 2 weeks. But okay, well.
And the other thing is that they actually do analyze his memories, and the last memory he has, I think they said, was like 11 days ago.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, geez, that's convincing. So anyway, this guy here, this guy's Two-Face.
Huge God of War fan.
He's a Two-Face cosplayer.
Yeah.
James goes with the God of War joke. I go with the Batman joke. But anyway, so they slice off his forehead. Oh, by the way, he went right by his finger. That was not good knife technique. You got to keep your finger, curl in your fingernail maybe a little bit, but it's CGI. He's not really doing this to an actor. Or maybe it's a fake head, whatever. And so slices off the scalp with this weird knife there thing.
It looks like a pizza cutter.
Mm-hmm. I predicted, yeah, it kind of does. I predicted that there'd be a junior jumble on the bottom of his scalp, but no, it was a maze, just like the one, or at least it seems to be the same one as was on the scalp that Ed Harris got a hold of, the bicameral mind thing, the whole what's at the center of the maze, and it looks like the cross-section of a brain, which I actually taled about with my brother, who's a neuroscientist, in a previous video. So
they seem confused by it. They said, what's that all about? And they're like, I don't know. And it makes me wonder if people who have actually progressed beyond the maze, who have become self-aware, does that get burned into the top of their scalp? Or was that they're put there from the beginning?
Well, I assume that they're put there by someone behind the scenes. I don't think
so. Does that mean that he was one of the original hosts that was set down this path by Arnold or Dr. Ford originally, and this was part of his construction that just is suddenly now being noticed?
Shrug.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting thing. So anyway, this guy's not grossed out by the disgusting thing he's holding, and there it says.
Not to him, but to them.
Yeah, he's warning them because he starts chipping into it, but they don't show it. I mean, they do show it. Boy,
a little bit.
Shows have really come a long way with just showing slicing open bodies and skin and stuff. I think we're all just a little like, come on, look at this. This looks like grape jelly. Or those jellies that have the grapes inside of them, the Jello molds. Doesn't even look like that. Why am I? Anyway, so there you go. We have to block out boobies, but we don't have to block this out.
Now this kind of redefines the term "picking your brain."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll say this redefines the term noodle. Yours was better. Anyway, so he pulls off
a cap, and underneath the cap.
It's like this is what it's like opening up an iPhone box.
Yeah. You need the proprietary tools.
Yes.
From Apple.
Yeah. You need a special. Yeah. What if he looked at it and he goes, "Oh, it's a lightning port. Fuck. God damn it.
I have a star-shaped screwdriver.
There's no headphone jack.
Give me your credit card. Maybe I can get in there."
Yeah. Anybody have a key? So this is an interesting reveal. We talked about this on the short one, but they have like a fluid encased center machine brain.
Like a core processor brain.
I kind of always assumed that their minds were sort of just a really well built flesh brain.
I did too, and it's kind of weird because it floats in like this amniotic type fluid.
Kind of,
because our brains do the same thing. We're kind of suspended in this fluid. Yeah. It's not amniotic, but
it's a sack of fluid inside there that I should ask.
And that's how concussions happen when your brain smashes up against the side of your skull, despite the fluid as a buffer.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is what they were scanning for. This is what's actually inside the brains that they didn't really reveal in season 1. This is kind of some new information for us. And I speculated in our 5-minute long, but I don't think it was exactly 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was over 5. but
over
we're doing a short one and this long one.
But I was like, I thought it would be a lot smaller because you think hosts get shot in the head all the time. So you would think that because the IP, the most important thing to them is the IP, is the data inside their head, which is worth the billions and billions of dollars, that they would be a smaller thing that wouldn't be susceptible to being destroyed by, say, a rogue bullet or something.
Yeah.
But then I started thinking, oh, maybe it's bulletproof.
Or, yeah.
I think it would. I'm sure that thing can take a beating.
Yeah, also like the USB flash drives, you can bite on them and stuff, and like the data's on the inside is my point.
Yeah,
like
probably titanium.
So there's probably something in the middle there that's where the real value is, and it's a protective coating.
But he was worried that the data might be corrupted.
Yeah, it could be, and I don't blame him. This is R2D2's poop. It looks like he's holding. Yeah, but that was an interesting thing, I thought.
Makes me wonder though, if there was a host baby, wouldn't most of the baby's head be that thing?
Pretty much. Yeah, maybe they go get upgrades, like they get a small one and they get bigger ones. And I don't know. It does raise questions about how you reproduce, because the original 3D printer is the womb, and so when we are, we impregnate women, they turn into a printer. Oh God, I sound like I'm not trying to demean women. I'm just saying they make a baby, and it all grows organically. But how do they make a baby if you've got robot parts? You got to have a printer, a real robot manufacturer.
Can you imagine? It's like giving birth takes like 14 days. It's like
just a dot matrix.
Yeah.
And you got to peel like the little trims off the side.
Oh, sand the baby.
Sand the baby. It's like a gray. It's like a bland gray. That's it. All right. Well, that's fun. So the file is he's saying let's hope it's uncorrupted here, and so. Okay, cool. So they tuck it. Oh yeah, they hook it right away. They plug it in. I was thinking it'd be kind of funny if they flipped it over because it fit wrong, like a USB.
Or it's like, I need an adapter. This is an older one.
Yeah. Does anybody have an adapter? So then, anyway, this is their field medicine. So we do get to see the final moment of this person.
Oh, yeah. Did it say? I mean, the line told you how long ago this happened. It was like 9 days or 11 days or something like that. It kind of threw me for a loop because it kind of confirmed for me that they've been on the beach for quite a while.
Oh yeah. All right. Okay.
Which makes me wonder, how was Bernard there? When did he get there? But that's the piece of the timeline that we're being kept from us right now.
That seems to be the case, yeah. So we do have to look at these, the host log.
That's fun. So system offline.
Playback.
Very obvious it's offline.
Yeah, they don't have the secret tab is for the porn.
And what does it say underneath the I right there?
I don't know. LOPE, it's hard to read. PEC or FEC, something. It's not OPEC.
Is it like the f-stop or something of the iris pupil, whatever?
I don't know. That's kind of a degree. It does look like a degree after this. So it could be the FOV, the field of view.
It doesn't look like the eyesight was that great. Looks like he's...
but it's a rough recording.
Yeah.
This is like a helmet cam. So yeah. So anyway, you've seen like gunfights here going on, horses and stuff. It's sort of the standard stuff thing. And then we've got a lady with a gun. Who could it be? Look, he had weird fingers. I thought those looked weird, but it's a strange distortion effects. Turns out, we could tell from the first shot, but it's Murder Dolores.
Yep, she has become hardcore.
Yes, she is. She's become hardcore. Bernard is just watching it, going, "What the fuck?" And so, not all of us deserve to make it to the valley beyond.
Right.
All right. So that's kind of the next step that they think they're getting to. Host unresponsive, end of service. So this is where it all just blanks out. All right. So
when you're at a restaurant and your host is unresponsive.
Yeah, it sucks. And then you trip over their body on your way to the bathroom, and it's embarrassing because you knock over the crouton tray.
So they're asking who this very cruel murdering woman is, and they say, isn't that the rancher's daughter from Sweetwater? And Bernard confirms that it's Dolores, the rancher's daughter.
Yep.
But she is not really in her correct loop right now. She is not the sweet, welcoming person that she was designed to be.
Yes.
She's now taking on a new persona.
Indeed. And she's supposed to be, there you go, the cheery welcome. I just wanted to point them out, but this guy's nose.
It's pretty impressive.
That's a nose.
Yeah.
This, like if in video game parlance, the slider is all the way up on that fucking nose. He's got every detail. I mean, even this, look at the gap. Look at this thing here. You could put grapes up that bad boy. I could only put blueberries in my nose.
That's a respectable nose, I say.
We live in a world of variety and genetic differences, and I think we should celebrate that personally.
I wouldn't mind that nose.
Some noses are kind of got an angle, and some some noses have this angle, and most of them are somewhere within a range. But then people go to the doctor and they go, cut off part of my nose, and I don't like the way it looks, which I also understand. Go ahead, fucking do it. Who cares? You're alive for only a few decades, and then whatever. Just everybody's going to be a disgusting corpse eventually. So that guy's got a nice nose, at least a notable nose. But he probably should put a condom on when he goes to the buffet. All right, sorry. They can't just change their character. Okay, so he's saying how come she's so crazy, so they can't... It's not like she got taken over by a different thing. That's not how it works, but Dolores is a murderer. Bernard's having weird handshakes and stuff, and there's a good shot.
And this is another precursor to one of his freakouts.
Oh, yeah, so this is his freak out in here?
Yeah, where he's remembering how his hand was... He was looking at both sides of his hand, just like he was back in that night.
Excuse me. Yeah, all right. There you go.
Now we're seeing some of the missing time.
Okay. Oh yeah, so this is right after the gunfight.
So this is the other timeline. This is in the past.
Yeah, so he and Charlotte Hale have escaped with some other people too, but they've holed up in a stable.
I'm presuming this is immediately after Dr. Ford took a bullet to the back of the head. They scampered off into a barn.
Yes, but Dolores wasn't the only host who started the shooting. Remember, Ed Harris got shot. And
it was the Ghost Nation and the Wyatt's team all emerging from the woods out there. They all kind of attacked in tandem.
Wow, great pull. Nice one. Coded 3, it's all his host. New Walter. What was that? What did that mean? I was confused when I saw that. What's New Walter? Who's Walter?
New Walter.
This is she's being...
Was it one of the board members?
I don't remember. No, Walter... I think Walter might be this guy.
Oh, of course, yeah. So Rebus and
Walter. Okay, because they're killing this woman.
I forgot. I was thinking we were still in the barn, but no. They're basically shooting the apple off the head, or trying to do that.
Or doing. Oh, is that really? I didn't pick up on that. That explains the whole shooting the thing at the.
I don't know if that's an apple or not. It's kind of dark, but shooting something off. The
It looks like a glass.
It could more likely would be a glass of milk, because you can see that Rebus has gone back in his other loop where he is now guzzling milk once again.
It's a glass of apple juice. Yeah. So anyway, she's terrified, of course, and he's drinking milk. These guys have this whole thing with milk, which also speaks to that fluid and the fluid in which they're sewn together back in the backstage area. Poor lady, she just came out for a party and now she's having her head blown off. That's no fun. Evil guys look at him, take that, lady. And so then we see her get killed, and it goes pew, pew.
And another thing to kind of cement
the top
the
one,
idea,
and then this one hits, and then blood comes through it. Go ahead.
To cement the idea that this is happening in the past. Rebus is alive here, yet we saw Rebus get shot to death on the beach.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's Rebus. Yeah, this Rebus here. I was thinking this guy. Because we have... Okay. All right.
Yeah, so I think his inclusion here is specifically to hammer home the point that this is a different timeline. This happened before the events that we opened on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's really 3 Bernard timelines. There's the one with him with Dolores in the beginning, there's the beach Bernard, and then there's the barn Bernard.
Yes. The one with him at the very beginning, I wonder... I would be surprised if we don't see that again, but I feel like... Are they going to pick up and run with that, or is that just a way to kind of show them squaring off in their
I think that circle? I think that irreplaceable line is going to come back.
Yeah. I don't think it's arbitrary. I'm just curious how much that's supposed to wind up being grounded in a linear reality, or one of the timelines that we're referring to. I don't know. It all gets very confusing. We evacuate. They'll be okay. So now they're like, should we run? Should we stay? Oh God, what do we do? And this guy's upset. Quality assurance, my ass.
So I'm assuming this guy is a board member who says that. And he's basically saying, where's the nearest outpost? Where is the Bernard? Who they look to him because he's management. They're just board members. They're visiting. They don't work there. So they're taking basically his advice on where to go to escape. So said, it's only 2 miles away. Let's get moving. Let's go.
Right.
And they start to go, but then someone walks in.
Yes, a little guy walks in here, a little ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba guy. He's kind of a simple man. Turns out he's just a stable boy.
Yeah, he's doing his NPC introduction. You want to ride for green pastures? You want to get up on the horse?
Oh boy, I have had a hard time getting across the river because I'm missing 3 bridge parts.
Yes.
Oh, well, I'll go get the bridge parts.
I've marked the location on your map.
Yeah. Be careful, I've heard there's some bandits about.
Yes.
But, yeah, so the guy comes in, the stable guy.
So what essentially happens...
Oh, yeah, by the way, this part,
is that Bernard is a host. They don't know he's a host. They're all human. and they see this boy and they immediately see him as a threat, even though he is not exhibiting threatening behavior.
Right.
They're looking at all the hosts as violent murderers right
Yeah.
now, and they go and start beating the boy to
Well,
death.
you're skipping this part here.
No. They start beating the boy to death, and Bernard jumps in to try and protect them, and they knock him away, and then he falls down and then starts noticing there's this clear liquid, this fluid leaking from his ear.
Yeah.
And we know what that fluid is. That's the fluid surrounding that orb thing, the central core processor in his head.
Yeah.
So we know that something's wrong. Something's broken. Something's not right with Bernard, which explains, because this is in the past, that he's freaking out on the beach in the future, that he's suffered some sort of critical damage, that he is in trouble.
Yeah. I could make really gross jokes about what might be in his ear, but I won't, because I am a respectable member of the community. Yes, that's nasty. So yeah, but anyway, it's this gross white sticky fluid comes out of his ear.
Well, it's clear. It's not white.
It's not white. It's clearish. I'd say it has an opaque quality to it.
Opaque quality?
A
Means translucent, yes.
I'd say it's both opaque and translucent.
It's a paradox.
James, it's called opacity, 0 to 100. Video editing. Look it up, fuckface.
Opaque means light cannot pass through it. Translucent means some light can pass through it. Transparent means all light can pass through it.
50% opaque means partial. Translucent, all right? Jesus. We both could use a tan, by the way. We're both fucking...
No.
You have an accountant's tan, and I have a video editor's body.
Sweet.
All right, so, by the way, if you see, I'm going as powder at this year's PowderCon. All right, so anyway, Bernard's having a leak, and that's no good. He's probably worried about that. Man, all right. So this is them beating up the guy. Yeah, there he is. He's getting killed.
So Charlotte Hale kind of tells Bernard, "Don't throw yourself into danger to protect the merchandise," is how she refers to the people in the park, to the hosts in the park.
Yes, but Bernard is probably the most valuable robot at this point.
Right,
One
but
of them.
Charlotte Hale does not know that Bernard is a host. We do know from the trailer that eventually she does find out. Because remember that scene where from the trailer where there's all these multiple Bernards in the room?
Oh, yeah.
So she does find out, but I don't think at this point she knows.
The Bernard Army. Great shot. Wow, what a sun, huh? Rocks, earth, erosion. Everybody here, you got a degree in geology. Is that the piano they're playing? Yeah, so we get a nice little piano, clank, clank, piano. That's my musical talent coming out there, James. And as we pull back, though, we start to sense things are afoot, amiss, awry.
So the standard daily machinations are going on, but there's no one alive to really interact with them. We see a horse run by in the background, which is kind of cool.
We did. And we
I
got
don't know if you didn't capture it.
I missed the horse. We got bloody stuff. We got bloody hookers. We got. I'm talking about this guy here.
Yeah, he's clearly a hooker.
He's obviously one of the top performing hookers in the party.
There's a long waiting list to get with him.
Is the beard available? Oh, she's available. Does the beard smell like what I want it to smell like? Yes. Keep it vague, James, and let people's imagination fill in the details. So anyway, everybody's dead and killed, and it sucks. And okay, so, woo! Oh, that's called The Entertainer is the name of that song. I love it when they do that because I never know anything. Run! you know you're having a bad day when you're in a tuxedo running across a field and it's morning.
And you kind of lose
and this is chasing you.
You lose the effect of this from watching screenshots like this, but the Entertainer is sort of like this happy-go-lucky little diddly medley.
Right.
And it's playing in stark contrast to what's going on right here.
Right. To savage, violent, murder-faced Dolores. She also has...
Violent delights Dolores.
That's funny. You pointed out she has what? On her gun? A cheat? You said?
Oh, I said she's an aimbot.
She's an aimbot.
Because she doesn't miss.
Which is
and she's a bot.
It's a video game term for cheat thing that makes you not miss when you shoot.
Yeah.
And but it would make sense that she'd have good aim.
Yeah. Now, does he have a gun too?
Yeah.
Sure looks like he does. Yeah. Shoot back, dude.
It might be out. You know, they only hold 6. Maybe one of them.
He's James Bond, though.
Yeah, this is James Bond's accountant. But boom, pow. Oh, by the way, I just want to point. This is like red blood cloud.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good effect. So yeah, check that. I like that she's got this permanent grimace, although it's gone. That ruins my point. Thanks, Dolores. But go get him. Teddy's just kind of going, oh man.
If I were Dolores and I became free and sentient, the first thing I would do is I would go back to Pants Dolores, because look how hard it is to ride that thing with that big billowing dress on. It does not look comfortable.
A dress probably isn't the easiest thing for a horse riding.
Why would she choose that?
Is that why female bikes have the bar goes way down? I know it's all arbitrary, silly. There's something to that, with like whether they had to sit with their legs open or crosswise.
No, I think the male ones have the bar like up at the top, just so if you hit a bump and you fall off your seat, you hurt yourself even more.
Yeah, it makes you.
You think that for guys it would be lower like that, so you'd be less.
Well, it doesn't Like, yeah, or whatever's best for the bike. I don't know. There has to be a gender differential, but I'm not sure where the origins. I'm sure there's some explanation.
I would prefer like extra a seat that would just go all the way up, so that you can't slide off of it.
I prefer a car.
Yeah.
And then we get to John Hamm. If John Hamm, if he had a metabolic disorder that caused his skin to look like shit.
Metabolic bone disorder?
I don't know. Something that fucks up his skin. Whatever. I'm just saying. I don't know. John Hamm, if he's got rickets. How about that? Rickets John Hamm. I don't know. John Hamm he's handsome, and I hear he's got a big... There was a news story.
Now he's a dandy gentleman who says, please.
What? What is it? Is this guy saying please? Oh, right there. Yeah, please. Oh, don't kill me. So he's having a bad night, especially since this person's about to murder him.
And this is the line that I knew was coming, because she was saying something like, you're in a dream. You're in my dream. I just knew it.
Yeah, which is basically saying, I'm in charge, motherfucker.
Yes, I call the shots. This is not your fantasy land anymore. You are at my mercy.
By the way, how scary would that be if you, in your dream, some animal, creature, sentient, talking thing told you it was actually that thing's dream? That would freak me out. I'd be like, I've had some wacky ass dreams because I'm partial, man, that would. All right, I mostly just dream about how my unicorns that look like my dad. All right, for years I had no dreams. So now she's like talking, she's kind of just explaining. Now, is she just doing this because there's a camera and she needs to explain it for the camera? Why does and I don't mean that literally, I'm just saying though, why would the robot feel compelled to explain? Why doesn't she just make choices without verbalizing those choices?
Well,
shoot him.
No, this part was obvious to me, because in the very beginning of season 1, one of the first lines that was ever said in the series was, I think it was Bernard talking to Dolores, and he says, have you ever questioned the nature of your reality?
Okay.
And it was sort of like she was the host in the chair. She was the one that was in a submissive position.
Oh, there you go.
And he was the one who was the controller, who was interviewing her. And now she's flipping the table.
Yeah.
She's looking at him, a human, and saying, have you ever questioned the nature of your reality? She's flipping the tables.
I get that. That was obvious. But why is she bothering is my question. Why not just pull the trigger and move on? It feels like...
Why does a cat play with a mouse?
Why do we have robots building cars when we could have people? Because they don't slow down and they're efficient. These are robots. Move on. Go build your robot utopia.
She spent how many decades in this park being the torture subject of these humans? Now she finally gets to turn the tables on them, and now she's going to have some fun with them.
All right, fair enough. Like a cat.
She's earned it.
Like a cat playing with a yarn with a victim. Fair enough. No, I get it. I mean, it would be a more boring show if that's how they did it. But it speaks to the complexity of her consciousness and her newly found sentience. I get it. I understand. I wish I was sentient. Anyway, so they're there. Some people, some victims. They're standing up there. This poor lady, she's wearing high heels. That sucks. It's like, oh man, I always feel bad for women in high heels.
Well, they choose to do it.
Well, they do, but I think there's a cultural pressure that drives that. I mean, that's true not just for high heels. That's true for almost anything in our culture. For wearing ties, which are
I'm a dude, and I sure as heck don't wear them because I think they're ridiculous.
Plus, they make you susceptible in violence.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, put a rope around your neck and walk.
I mean, some people argue and say, oh, it's an aesthetic thing. It looks great and everything like that. But I just don't see it. I look at it and it's like, why is that piece of fabric flopping all over your chest? That's so stupid.
It's arbitrary. I mean,
I just hate it.
But it's stupid. But it's information.
Which is what I'm saying.
We're communicating to other people with whether our teeth are clean and our shoes look good and our shirts tucked in or not tucked in.
But the point I'm making is that if I were a woman, I would not wear high heels because I think they look silly, so I wouldn't do it. Just like I'm a dude and I think ties look silly, so I don't wear them.
Have you ever worn high heels?
Only on Saturdays.
I would.
No, I'm not.
I would, if I had high heels here, I'd put them on. Why not? I'm not going to wear them to the store. I'd wear them, see how it feels. Closest I've ever gotten to wearing high heels was cowboy boots. I wore for Halloween once. I went and I bought some at a thrift store, and they had a huge heel. It was like 2 inches, and I'd never had to walk that way, and so I got used to it. I was actually pretty proud because the first hour it's really weird. Your whole gait changes when your heel is that lifted up. And I actually think my calves looked fucking sexy as shit. It really lifted up my glute. Whoa! I got so many dudes' numbers that night.
Yeah. But the point is, not the most advantageous shoe to be wearing when you're trying to precariously balance on a wooden beam with your neck in a noose.
When you're standing on a murder cross. By the way, I like the use of the cross here.
Yeah.
Nice. It's a different form of a tool for murdering people. It's a torture device, right? Anyway, but would you even call that a cross?
Yes.
Well, but it's
it's a cross.
well, but I could see someone who like is Christian saying no, a cross is like a symbol for this situation. And we
Well,
don't,
it looks
we
like
don't
a
need to.
grave, and you put crosses on graves.
That's true. We do that. All right. Anyway, so yeah, high heels. That sucks. Cornerstone.
Yeah.
She goes, "What's your
Yeah,
number
she's
one
start-
drive? It's keep me alive."
But that's the
What are your
thing.
drives?
She's describing their physical, their human qualities, their human emotions, and their human drives
Right.
in the same way that they described the programming, her own programming to her.
Yeah.
So she's essentially analyzing them and making it feel like they're the machines. They're
Yes.
the ones who don't belong. She's the one in control.
Right. Yeah.
I love it.
She's flipping the tables for sure. And I would have been like, Prius? Why would you ask that? That's a weird question, right, in this context. So it's your corner. Yeah, so survival. It's your cornerstone. But there's also a party that wants to hurt.
Which is why you created this park.
Yeah.
To make us prisoners to your own self-worth and to your own self-desires.
It's like she finally understands the psychology of her oppressors, which is
Yeah.
important for everybody who's oppressed, is to sort of understand the people in power and finally recognize that those above you have power, not those below you, which I think is a mistake people make in our culture. It's not poor people that are causing problems. It's the people who have power that are causing problems. Nothing makes more sense. All right, but enough about politics.
So you're saying that
James.
no one in Puerto Rico is causing problems?
No, I'm saying that on the whole, those who control politicians are the ones that have influence
One of the things
over
that Puerto Rico has no power
outcomes.
right now.
Oh yeah, literally they have
Literally no power.
Yeah,
That
well, that's also the result of powerful people not doing what they should be doing. But side point, my point is Dolores is understanding the psychology of those that she's, and it is very interesting how she is now using it against them, which is kind of fascinating. So time to be scared, bitches. I thought I did like this several minds about it. This is one of those triple entendre lines that
the
show has
bicameral mind.
tons of them. Well, yeah, she has lots of minds. She has,
they all want to kill you.
She has multiple histories for different
multiple narratives, multiple roles that she's played.
So she's got lots of minds going. Rancher's daughter,
and this kind of shows
she
her
refers to him.
Yeah, where she goes. This is sort of like when we first saw her in the chair, kind of talking to Bernard, and she would get emotional and cry, and then he would say, "Suppress your emotions," and then she would immediately go to deadpan.
Yeah,
she's doing that a little bit now, which I like.
Yeah.
But she's saying the Dolores, the rancher's daughter would want to see the goodness in you and see the beauty in life. But Wyatt, who you were asking the other day, is like, what is Wyatt? Wyatt is Dolores. It was her evil side, basically.
Yeah.
But Wyatt sees the ugliness and the deplorable nature of you.
I was rewatching season 1. I only got halfway through, and then I got to Wyatt, and I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot about Wyatt. I need James to tell me who Wyatt was. My head started to hurt. But yeah, he was like okay, whatever. I won't explain it, so I'm going to try. Sees the ugliness. So she sees like there's all this crazy stuff, and these violent delights have violent ends. I don't know, did she finish the sentence?
I think she did. And then she pulled the trigger and
scrapes the roof of his mouth. Ouch! Click! Scary! Oh man! Oh god! No! Don't! Please don't! So, but those are all just roles. You forced me to play, you bastards! And she walks away. She is, just a crazy murderer now. What is she? What's this?
I have one. Those are both roles you forced me to play. Now I have one role to play. Bonnie.
I have one last role to play. Puck from Midsummer Night's Dream. Like, she's just super into it.
A streetcar named Dolores.
She goes, did I do that? And she pokes her glasses on and pulls up her pants. I've always loved what's that show called? Family Life?
Family Matters.
Family Matters. I almost said Family Life. Sorry. Okay, so they're...
So she doesn't implicitly kill them, she just leaves them there. So it's almost like Batman. I won't kill you, but I won't save you, even though she kind of put them in a position where death is almost guaranteed.
Yeah, Batman doesn't kill people, but he puts them in comas and gives them brain damage and breaks their backs and breaks their necks.
Makes them paraplegics,
He makes it worse. He sentences them to a tortured life.
Yeah.
But anyway, she's giving them a chance here. I guess, so how would you get out of this? Do you just wait until you can't stand anymore and then you die? This is a brutal way to go.
Or the weight of your body pushing the cross further into the ground would eventually choke you to death.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's pretty soft ground if that's the case.
Well, what if it rains?
Or what if it's on quicksand?
Yeah.
The only way out, like this guy.
We do know something else.
Why don't they all just do this? Right here, he's already getting out.
Well, he's trying to. Yeah.
Well, that's all you got to do. I mean, if you can get your hands up to
I would not be doing that while they were watching, though.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, they don't know what's loose.
We do know also, from Season 1 and from all the Westworld websites and things, it did show that in the cemeteries, the graves were actually hatches back into the facility where they were dropped corpses to go back into the chamber where they'd be repaired.
Yeah.
So it's not completely out of the realm of possibility that those things could be sinking down those shafts.
Oh, please.
It
no.
could happen.
We'll leave this one up to the crowd. Everybody, let us think.
Highly unlikely.
Send us comments and tweets at VideoJamesSP at Suckprofessor. Is James making shit up, or is there any chance?
There were shoots there, though.
But look at the ground; it's all compressed. This is not a graveyard. This is all improvised. Have you ever dug a post, put up a fence?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or just dug a hole? The ground is really hard. Lots of places.
No,
It's not all our stepmom's garden with great dirt. This is a hard-packed scorpions and cows have been walking around here for centuries. Mm-hmm. Thunderstorms and rain.
Very, very easy to dig a post.
With a proper tool.
Yeah, you pull up the tool, you hand it to your dad, you say, "Do it, Dad."
and Dad is a strong man.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right. Anyway,
My dad was Kratos.
I've dug some fence posts. Anyway, all right. It doesn't look anything like anything. Oh yeah, this is an important one. So I don't know what the game thing was. You can tell me if you want, but this is a really important line.
Yeah, where essentially the line comes from season 1, where when a host sees something that is programmed not to regard as anything, the host is programmed to say, "It doesn't look like anything to me."
Which Bernard says when he sees a picture, a schematic drawing of him that looks exactly like him, and like, "What is this?" He goes, "Doesn't look like anything to me."
So what I think she's doing here is that they're pleading for their lives. They're saying, "But we said we're sorry. You have to help us. We're sorry." And then she just looks at them and says, "Doesn't look like anything to me," as though she is completely disregarding any sympathy. She's disregarding their needs, their wants, their desires, their cornerstone for survival. It means nothing to her.
Erasure. It's just pure deletion, which is how they've always treated her and her kind, and now the tables have turned.
It's savage.
She's emptying the recycle bin.
Yes.
All right. Oh man, oh geez, well my brother John Hamm is gonna have a better life than me. John Hamm, what a great life, huh? Man. Yeah, he's like a handsome Mike Rowe. I don't know. Mike Rowe, the host of Dirty Jobs.
I know who Mike Rowe is.
Yeah, of course. All right, so trees and victims. Yeah, there they go. That's a bad day. That's things suck. Yeah, poor lady. She's got the heels on there. It sucks. All right, so now we have a wolf running around.
Well, I mean, I would say that's a wolf too, but it could be a coyote as well. But I did notice it basically said dog growls or dog pants. I don't know why it said dog. It doesn't look like a dog to me.
Well, there are dogs that look like wolves.
Yeah.
Those are like those huskies or whatever.
But I was a little weirded out that it didn't say like wolf pants. It specifically said dog. But captions aren't always accurate.
Yeah, I mean, aren't dogs genetically? Are they not identical to wolves? But they're descended from wolves, aren't they?
They're connected.
Yeah, they're like cousins or something.
Yeah.
Kind of like how giraffes are related to hippopotamuses. I made that up. I have no idea. Let's pour some sparkling water into an ice bucket.
You gonna do the ice bucket challenge?
Yeah. All right, yeah. So a wolf or dog or whatever, but it could probably still beat us up, which is all that matters.
So this is the big gala where Dr. Ford died.
Yep.
So we're presuming he's still on the stage right there, rotting away.
Oh yeah, there he is, right there. Yeah,
and we know that this has been about 2 weeks later, I think, or so. So things.
Oh, there goes the wolf, by the way. See him running by, or dog or whatever. Yeah. So I guess it's 2 weeks. In my brain watching this, I was thinking it's the next day, but
it definitely takes some time for people to get in there to basically come up with a tactical strategy to infiltrate the park and all that.
Yeah, I'm persuaded. I'm not holding it anymore. So my perception has shifted since we started this. So a guy gets out. Oh yeah, that's Ed Harris. He crawls out from under a guy.
And we know that William from season 1, at the very end of season 1, he did take a shot to the arm. It looked like it was a shoulder or the arm. I thought it was a shoulder, but I think it's more the arm based on having seen this now.
Yeah. And as a bald man myself, I can just say that
blew all his hair off too.
Bald guys with their hair, I keep my hair short, but when it's long on the sides, and you feel the wind touch it when you're outside, and it feels like being back when things were good and things were safe. And it really sucks to go bald. It's a terrible thing to happen to somebody. All right, and even the wolf is feeling sorry for him. So there he goes. But he's bald.
It'd be funny to see a wolf that's just bald on top of his head.
Well, I know. He's got male pattern baldness. Like when people talk about bald eagles, I'm always like, they're not bald. They that's white feathers. It's a trick.
Yes.
They should be bald, though. I'd love to see a bald eagle with like skin
We actually
showing.
did a video on this a while ago, not bald eagles, but on the wolf, the dog.
Yeah, we've talked about the wolf.
And about what it symbolizes and whether it's sort of like a watcher, it's something that maybe Dr. Ford or Arnold put into the park that comes around and observes events, because it always shows up at pivotal moments where things kind of go crazy and go wild. Right. And it seems like he's well aware of what it is. They have sort of like a visual connection to one another, but we don't explicitly know what it is.
It's kind of like a secret shopper.
Maybe, yeah. It's like a bad omen or something.
Yeah. So this guy sees a horse, Mr. Ned, and hey, Ned.
Instead of Ed, Mr. Ed.
I can't believe they made that show way back when. That was some pretty good technology.
Oh yeah, peanut butter.
Good special effects. Is that what it was? To make the horse go.
Yep.
I like to imagine somebody lost a finger to that horse. Okay, so anyway, then this guy comes up. He's
here's the cool thing, though. Before this is when people recognized him in the park, they would never, ever address him by name because he was a celebrity. He's a big guy in the real world, and it breaks his character.
It's like Mark Zuckerberg walking around.
Yeah, so he says, Jesus, Bill, referring to him as Bill/William.
Yeah.
So we would never have seen this happen early on in season 1 because that would have kind of blown the whole fan theories out of the water. We would have figured out early on that it was William, but now that things have kind of thrown into disarray, everything's in chaos, the guy feels safe to do that.
And plus, we haven't seen him with peers, which would be people in the corporation.
Yeah.
Even if they're subordinates, but they're still like from his world or something. So.
Well, I mean, we have at the gala. He was walking amongst them, the board members.
But that was the final episode, the second half of the final episode of season 1. It's not like there was a lot of opportunities for someone to call him by his name. He's just mostly just this.
It was that one guy in the bar that he kind of chewed out. Said, I'm on vacation. Don't you ever approach me.
That's right. Yeah. He's pretty surly, that guy. Yeah. As are all bald people. Let me tell you something. By the time the lawyers get, ow. Well, the lawyers aren't going to get anything out of you, buddy. Because you're getting murdered. So then Ed Harris is like, shit, murdered. Oh, God.
This is what he wanted. I've said this a million times, but this is what he signed up for.
This is what he signed up for. What, the guy can't hit him here? Come on, you can see him. Come on, shoot that dude.
You know what Ed Harris is saying right now?
Press shift to hold your breath. What?
Oh, well.
Yes! Nailed it! Yeah. There's a well, and I get it, the well. Good one. Ed Harris goes for it, gets into a little bit of a close-up fight. If you have a gun, you don't need to get that close to somebody. Yeah. That's the whole point of having a gun.
And we know this is Ed Harris's house in Westworld because his horse there, Ned, was tied up there and so forth. He's coming back.
By the way, this is how you know you're having good sex.
Yep, that's MMA right there.
Or good MMA. So they wrestle for the gun. They use a fight. Oh, take that, jerk. Oh, yeah. Well, the nice thing about being bald is you got less hair for during a fight. You got to grab the sides. So anyway, uses the guy he's wrestling with uses his gun to shoot the other guy, and so Ed Harris manages to get out of this.
And he uses him as a human shield. The other guy shoots him. He blocks the bullet with his dude.
Yeah.
And then cuts his throat.
Pulls out his own knife and cuts off his giant head. Or at least cuts his throat.
Great acting.
Want to see me find out? Let's see. This is me finding out they raised the price on General Tso's chicken. No! Why did that one? That's terrible. And then this is me realizing I don't eat carbs anymore. Oh, it's fine. I'm all
I like
good.
he's kind of looking up at Ed Harris at that point. He's like, am I doing good?
Yeah. He's actually thinking, I can't believe I'm laying on top of Ed Harris. He's a real actor. As it's this guy too. But anyway, so murders the guy gurgling. That's also okay. Gets up but Ed Harris.
If you go back to that one shot there,
right here,
you can kind of see where he got shot in season 1.
Oh yeah, right there. Yeah. By the way, he should have a maze tattoo if he really cared about his passion.
Yes.
Ed Harris. Okay, so I watched half of season 1. He is in God mode. No one can hurt him.
Right.
They play it off.
By it. He hates it.
They play it off like he's this badass, but he can't be killed. Literally, he can. Of course, he can walk into a town, murder everybody with no problem, cause a big gunfight, like with the little girl and the guy in the chest thing. Mm-hmm. Guys, I forgot that guy's name, Lewis or something, or El Lazo. It's like you're not tough. You have cheat codes.
Yeah.
But now he actually has a tough fight, and he does get out of it. So maybe
and I think for a while he probably loved that he was the big man, he was the invincible bad guy. But I think after time, a couple, 10, 20, 30 years, he gets bored by it.
Could be, yeah. I think that might be.
He wants something real. He wants to feel something again.
It's like it's like playing the same video game forever and being like, I just got to find all the Easter eggs.
Yeah, it's like he's got his resistance to meth up. He needs a stronger dose.
Yeah, exactly. Why is there a bathtub in front of the fireplace? Is this how old homes were set up?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess they put a bathtub somewhere in the...
Yeah, you didn't want to sit in cold water.
I suppose not. Wow.
You want to get all that smoke directly in your face.
I would think he put
Actually, the smoke goes up because it's a fireplace. That's what it's designed to do. But
true, yeah. And the heat comes out of it, sort of. Some of the heat goes up too, of course. Anyway, take a drink. That'll calm your nerves. And he's got to do some arm surgery on himself to get the blood. Wow, nice arm. Good definition there, Ed Harris. It gives me hope for when I'm an old fart myself. I used to have triceps. I think I have some on my right arm from all the mouse clicking.
Lost 2, now you just have a sep.
Yes, that's funny. All right, so ow, my bandage, my gauze. So movie medicine is just wrap tape around it and you're fine.
Yep.
So he's good. He pour some Band-Aids on it.
And we know again that this is, and actually to kind of go back to rewind really majorly, in the opening sequence, it looked like there was this big like black donut that was coming down, and it wasn't until like a little while later that I realized, oh, that looks like a black hat floating down.
Oh.
And I think that's what it was, because you can tell this is his home. I don't think you got a screenshot of it, but
yeah, I don't think so.
I thought that's what it was.
Yeah, could be. As round as a baby's head.
Yeah. And this is clearly his home again. That's his trunk. That's his black hat. It looks like he's ready. He's going all Ready Player One right now.
Yeah, he's got his gear.
Like, I'm going to load my save game and get out there and have the fun that I've been wanting to have all this time. The new DLC is out.
Yeah, this is his loot chest.
Yes.
He's got his stuff. He's got his, because you can see like that those look like a bullet.
Well, I wouldn't say that's his loot chest. I'd say that's his storage vault.
Well, yeah.
That's where you keep the stuff that you've already found.
All right, maybe not loot, like he's just, okay, fine. This is his gear chests, storage vaults, fine. All right, fine.
It would be great if you just like walk up to a closet and all of a sudden his clothes just starts randomly changing. He's just selecting.
Like that Dave Chappelle sketch.
Yeah.
Or if it was like the wrong one and he had to dress up like Ronald McDonald, so it just cuts to him walking outside looking like a clown, carrying like a big jug of seltzer water.
Yeah.
Take that. All right, so anyway, we got the black hat. This is a little dramatic, but he puts on the black hat and he's got the evil guy face, and he's back. Look out, everybody! Crocodile Dundee found his knife. Be ready, everybody! Oh, no, don't worry. So, all right, evil guy. He's gonna, gonna be in season 2. That's the message of that scene.
He is in season 2.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. Thank you, James. Quit confusing the timelines. All right. There's the facility.
Yep.
There they don't. Yeah. All right. So. Death everywhere. Well, the quality got a little bit lower there. Sometimes the stream does that. That's all right. And so we've got all kinds of stuff. Lee Sizemore is being attacked by this weird monster man. This guy was very strange.
I have to say, this guy's voice was awesome.
Yeah, he had a real intense thing going on. I don't know what his deal was.
I'm thinking he was one of the guys from Lee Sizemore's Cannibal narrative, because you see these body parts around and what he's saying. He's going to eat your flesh and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and he even picks up a leg and uses it as a weapon. Probably a pretty good weapon. I mean, legs got to be kind of heavy.
Although,
a full leg. What do you think your leg weighs?
I don't know.
I bet mine weigh 40 pounds.
It's not the kind of thing you ever get a chance to pick up and swing around on a good day.
Sure. Unless you're, exercising, I guess. Yeah. Take that with his leg. And it didn't really work. I didn't think that was going to work. He goes, the most shameful thing is to perish without purpose.
I like to consume my victims moist.
Right. No. Which I agree with. You don't want over dry meat.
Yeah.
Dry meat, you cooked it too much.
You just
burned out all the
dry
turkey
juices. Makes you sleepy and all that.
Yeah, it does wet turkey too, but it's not. But it's good. Okay, fine. Anyway,
he gets ready to bite into him.
Yeah, he's gonna do it, and then somebody freezes him. Maeve has the power to just freeze him with her own thought, or did she say something?
No, I think she says, "I think you've fed enough now, darling, don't you?" So I think she said that, but I don't know if it was that being said that stopped him, or if she just mentally stopped him. I think that's what it was.
I'm trying to remember when Dr. Ford tells Bill in the very first episode to go back into his thing, because he's sitting in that basement area.
Yeah.
And I think he says, "You've had enough now, Bill." I think there might be something to the structure of the sentence. That's very loosely connected in my brain, so that might not be right, but I do kind of recall that. Anyway.
But the funny thing is that he immediately is so relieved that he's been saved, because he knows that someone is standing over there wearing a black dress who just froze this person in place, so he immediately thinks, this is someone from Behavior that just saved me.
Yes.
And then he looks at it and has this realization, this is Maeve, this is someone that he created. Well, he didn't really create her, but he built her personality and wrote her lines for her, and he inherited her from another narrative. So he is well aware of who she
Yeah,
is.
it's like you're being attacked at Disney World, and then you look up and Minnie Mouse is standing there holding a gun.
So he goes from being very happy to be saved to, oh shoot, let me try and freeze her motor functions.
Yes.
He's like, that's not gonna work.
So he tries to do his thing, and it doesn't work anymore. And that's when he realizes that the tables have really turned down. Look, I got this screenshot here.
Yep.
Oh, there's a cross thing there. That's kind of.
And there's the bullheaded guy from Wyatt's narrative up there.
This one here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the big bullhead thing. What is this? The
Minotaur guy.
I think that's the cannibal that was just trying to eat him. Maybe.
I can't really make that out too well, but I'll take
Although
your
with
word
a
for
lot
it.
of crap on his face, it would make sense just from the scene because he was.
Yeah, these are all his characters in this narrative and how they roll together and stuff. It's kind of cool.
Totally, yeah, it's pretty cool. By the way, this whole movie with these dresses is a lot like that Daniel Day-Lewis movie, There Will Be Dresses, that just came out recently. Okay, wow, a lot of stuff to look at. Oh, look, it's like a monkey skull or like a gorilla kind of skull, something going on there. Sort of artifacty looking things, some kind of chemical. There's the bullhead guy. This must be the park map, I'm guessing. All right, I got a bunch of stuff. Okay, very nice.
And one thing I don't think you got a screenshot of, but you remember in the very beginning when Bernard was having those weird flashbacks and those flashes? And I think it was in the very beginning, but it cut very briefly to him firing one of those guns maniacally.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was something that actually happened or when that happened, what the context of that was, but that was a major thing in his flashbacks, and that was a major little snippet that we noticed in the original trailer that came out for season 2.
Right on, yeah. Agreed. Is there anything in these images here that might reveal that looks like the fountain in that one town with the little girl where Alazzo and his family live? Might not be, but
now that night shot right there, is that the saloon area outside where the party was held, where Dr. Ford was shot, or is that just
tough?
It's kind of hard to tell.
That looks like a villa, but it's really hard to tell. It's not,
or it could be like that vineyard place that Dr. Ford was at, where where he threatened Teresa.
Hello, Teresa. Now you may come over and my waiter will pour wine all over the table.
And I will freeze them.
Yeah, I will freeze them while the wine is being poured, but because I cannot freeze wine.
I don't remember that being written on her shirt.
No. That's what I have in my underwear.
Yep.
Because I need to be reminded not to wear under. I don't know. That fell apart. All right. So anyway, she's like, "No, motherfucker, you're my bitch now. Come on with me." So so he's belongs to her now though. Like the whole thing is getting turned here.
I have to say, I really was disappointed that she wasn't traveling around with Felix and Sylvester.
Yeah. Why do you like those guys so much?
Because they were the ones that were the architects that freed her. They were important, and they post on Reddit, and they seem to be pretty cool guys.
Oh, the actors are involved in the Westworld Reddit community? All right.
And Felix the cat, Sylvester the cat.
Oh, yeah. Is there a Heathcliff and a Garfield in there, too?
And one was trying to resuscitate the bird, like little Tweety bird.
Yeah.
Sylvester and Tweety.
Oh, yeah. All right. And Tweety, Twitter.
Yeah.
Whoa. It all makes sense. The hosts, they've gone mad. No offense. And so anyway, yeah. So she's got her own priorities. But he talks his way out of being killed. Right. She's about to kill him, and he's like, no, I have some information. I know a lot about this place. I can probably help you.
He's trying to find some way to make himself useful so he can stay alive. He is a very cowardly character. He's always been cowardly. He's not a man of action. He's
a sniveling kind of guy. Yeah. But also one of those super confident douchey types too.
Yeah. So I mean, she says something kind of funny. It's like, actually, I'm not interested in helping you. I'm only interested in my own, to what benefits me myself. Pity. I wonder who made me that way.
Right. Like, oh, I'm just like you. Like you made me after your image. Jerk. That's why I'm a jerk. What's that? Oh, he's saying the map that
he's saying the data that you have is outdated.
Yeah, you need to. By the way, I got the boxes here, everybody. Yep. You're welcome. I saved you all from the horror of a piece of someone's skin. But we could look at brains. Ford's been terraforming the park reshoot. So he's like, yeah, you're not going to know where everything is. Ford's been messing with everything around. Come on. And so he is persuasive. He's a survivor. You know, he's using the only skill he has, which is being an annoying douchebag, and it's working. But he gets himself, to be her. She's in charge of him, though, right?
Yep. Which is evidenced by her carrying a gun, pointing at his back, with him leading the way.
Yes. Do you remember there being female voice over PA in season 1? I feel like this is a new edition.
I don't think there was ever really a need for it. It seems like it's an emergency-only situation.
Right. But I do like that, though. That it kind of has a portal quality to it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it sort of has like this sci-fi, like that sort of relaxed robotic female voice that sort of contrasts the emergency that's going on in the real world, but you have this sort of robotic. It's a female voice.
Yeah, it'd be terrible if it was
comforting,
like a Fran Drescher voice.
Yeah.
Unauthorized.
Discharge on 35.
Or a Sofia Vergara.
Yeah, or it's SpongeBob.
I'm not even gonna try and do that.
I met Sofia Vergara.
Yeah.
Yeah, taller than she is.
Yeah.
Her husband and they came in to a comedy show, and the husband guy was real nice. Joe Manganiello. I went up and I said something.
Does he have like permanent cotton shoved in his ears?
No, they're both very, very, very handsome. They are an attractive couple. I mean, come on.
I would always be worried, like, noise cancelling headset if I were his or her husband.
No. Those two people are... we should send them into space so that the aliens know that some people on Earth aren't fucking monsters like me. Yeah, but anyway, all right. Okay. Sorry, I guess I lost my train of thought.
So unauthorized weapons are being discharged.
So what's 35 must be floors, so they're climbing, they're going up and up.
So it just shows that chaos is erupting all throughout the complex.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff, crazy stuff is going. Female voiceover, quality assurance required in quality assurance. I think they need more like broom assurance, mops. So he's leading her to the central map.
Yes,
right?
To the fast travel map.
Yeah. Now it turns out, so this is actually some information. I thought this was all light, like a hologram. This guy's laying on it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a flat tail. Like,
it's hard to tell because the body isn't expressly over top of one of those ridges, so you can't see it morphing and conforming to the floor. So it could be a 3D representation on the flat surface, but...
right. But it could also
you don't really know.
Like,
I mean, the only thing we can say for sure is that those little pits in the back don't have glass on them.
These guys here.
Or if they did, it's broken.
No, those don't have those. That's
it's like the little orchestra pit where people sit in the consoles.
Right. These are the cubicles, basically, because
it's a really bad design though, because it's very easy to walk and just fall into them.
Well, also, how do you get in there? You got to get down.
I know, it's just weird.
Scoot your butt to the edge and then jump down. That's not good. That's not OSHA compliant.
But I think our question just got answered in the previous screenshot.
What? That you can crawl out
in the previous screenshot.
Oh, previous. You mean the other way previous?
Right there. So the guy's falling down. That tells you there's not like a flat glass over top of that entire enclosure.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Like, how do you resist the urge not to go Godzilla on this stuff? Just like get drunk at the Christmas party and just be like, Godzilla.
We did see that one scene in the first season where I think Lee Sizemore gets drunk and he's peeing off the railing onto the map.
Oh yeah, that's right. Was he?
I think it was
onto the map or off the railing onto the world.
I thought he was doing it into the interior of this room, but maybe I'm remembering incorrectly.
But it doesn't simulate pee then. Okay, so anyway, there's a bear. All of a sudden, we saw a fucking bear. Yeah. Have we seen a bear before?
I don't know.
Bears are amazing.
They are.
They are so scary.
Yes.
Have you ever seen a bear up close, like in the wild? I've encountered bears. I've never had like a threat, but I've gone fishing. I grew up in the Midwest and stuff in northern Wisconsin. Fucking bears everywhere.
I've seen them in fields driving by in cars, but never like
they're
toe-to-toe.
So cool. They are really, everybody out there, if you get the chance, get an opportunity to see a bear, take it.
Yeah,
okay?
if you see a little baby cub, pick it up and hug it really quick and carry it around with you a little bit.
Yep.
Great thing to do.
And rub bacon on your face and close your eyes and go la 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 while spinning the baby cub around. Yeah, you'll have a great, it'll be just fun for the whole family. Happen. Yeah. Bears are amazing. They're really one of my favorite animals. Okay, cool. So, all right. Look at this person.
So essentially what happens here is that they find out power goes down, the network is down, the voice basically says, everything turns off. She goes, well, a lot of good your map is going to be right now.
Section 53 is now offline.
So he has to come up with another way to be useful. So he says, actually, I can still help you. What's on that sheet of paper that you have? Because he knows that the sheet of paper that she put into the shoulder part of her dress has coordinates on it.
Yeah.
And the coordinates, he doesn't know what it leads to, but he says, okay, these coordinates lead to a homestead area. You actually used to be there, but then you started freaking out. They decommissioned you from that area. I inherited you, and I put you into a different narrative. But you were being wasted there because your talents are very much more nuanced. They're much more intricate so that we used your skills better elsewhere.
You're a better brothel hooker lady.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, she's the captain of the hookers. She's the hooker quarterback.
Yes, but he makes a misstep and says, they even saddled you with a little kid, and you of all people, of course. And he didn't realize that her cornerstone now is to get to her daughter.
Yeah, yawn-inducingly domestic, and of course he's triggering a lot of bad feelings for her, which I understand, as would anybody. He was making me upset.
Right. And then his second misstep is to tell her that your daughter is not real.
Yes.
Which is essentially telling her that she is not real, which she does not take well.
And then right here he stops himself from saying fucked, I think, and then he changed it to malfunction.
You weren't going to use profanity anymore.
No, I'm going to use it less. I didn't say anymore, I just mean less. Sometimes it hits my head like a verbal tick, and I just start saying, fucking, this is no good. We don't,
he meant you're severely fit.
You're severely friendly. Yeah. So, but he catches himself because he realizes that he's that she's reacting to what he's saying and going, oh man, I shouldn't have been, because he's kind of a loudmouth idiot.
Yes.
I relate to that. Let me just rewind just a little to this part where this is a voiceover. Section 53 is now. So what is Section 53 all of this area, like Westworld proper with the whole land and everything, or is it just this office complex area? Like I'm not expecting you to have an answer. I'm just throwing this idea out there. Where's 51 through 52? Because they keep referring to different floors, and then like
there
down here
is a massive map of the Delos Corporation, of the different layers and the different floors and things that's on the Westworld website that we can check, and I'm sure there'll be an answer there, but I can't really tell you right now. All we can really infer from this is that Sector 53 includes the room they're in right now.
That's a safe assumption.
Yep.
But Section 53 is different than Sector.
Well, absolutely. Yes, Sector 15 is the domestic rolling hills and the homesteader's place. So we know that's way far off.
That's like a grid part of the map. But
yes,
Section is different. I
think Section probably relates to a place inside the compound.
Yeah.
Sector is like a map block outside the compound.
Yes, I think that's correct. I'm only bringing it up because I'm very curious to know more about the whole like context of the world and stuff. That's one of the things that intrigues me more than anything else. All right, let's keep pushing. So she has a memory of time with her little girl. This is the rolling the Shire, the Hobbit.
What?
Sorry, my brain. I was trying to say one of those words, but they all got pulled up at the same time. Look, they got sheets. Okay, so that's pretty standard stuff, I suppose. So she's, oh man, he brought up his memories, and what are you talking about? She's like, motherfucker, I got a daughter, and I want you to. So that's her, like you said, cornerstone.
Yeah, she's just a story, which is not what you say to the evil, maniacal, murder overlord robot who's looking for their daughter.
Right, yeah. So this is not what she wants to hear at all, and she's like, oh really? Well, am I real? My daughter's not. Is this real, bitch? And she starts getting in there, and she says the F word, which is naughty.
You didn't block it out.
It's not a boob or a butt crack. She is like, okay, I'll kill you. Will that be real enough for you?
Yeah, I think she pushes him against the wall, puts the gun under his chin, and say, if I were to pull this trigger with these fake fingers of mine, these non-real, unreal fingers, is it going to create fake spray of your brain against the back of the wall?
And he goes, Alexa, turn off.
Yes.
And then she goes, Xbox One, shut down. And none of it worked. Okay, so back to the board members.
So Donald Trump and Maeve.
It's like a little like Boris Johnson, a British politician.
So they're heading northeast the 2 miles to get to the nearest outpost.
Yes. Again, never a good time to be dirty in a tuxedo during the morning, running through the hills, running away from murderous robots. But I didn't think he'd program. But in a way, though, these are kind of like the red shirts of Star Trek. Like we know, like these like day players might not last. I mean, maybe they will, but these are the two like proper actors for the show.
And something interesting happens here. Something that Bernard says when Charlotte Hale says, "I didn't think he'd program a host to blow his brains out," referring to Dr. Ford and Dolores. It's because she is of the mind that Dr. Ford planned all of this, and Bernard says, "Well, what if she didn't? What if he didn't? What if Dolores acted on her own free will and pulled the trigger?" Which makes me wonder, does Bernard actually feel that? Does he think that? Or is he trying to plant doubt into her mind to try and change the narrative to work to his own advantage? Or is he trying to reason it out himself right now?
I think he's reasoning it. He doesn't seem to be in a state of mind to be real strategic and manipulative right now. Maybe, but...
he is Arnold. And Arnold had Dolores do the same thing to him. So do you think he's wondering all this time when he comes back and he's has these memories of Arnold still inherently in his head? Is he wondering, did she do it because I told her to do it, or did she do it because she achieved the free will to do it?
Well, this could also be
because what he wanted her to do was to do it from her own free will.
Yeah. Well, and that's what Dr. Ford wanted.
Yeah.
And this could be the
but it's hard to say
fulfillment of that, though, and it sort of shows that Bernard is tricked, where Dolores' decision to shoot Dr. Ford was not free will. However, the goal was to make it look like it was, and if it is enough to trick Bernard, it means it was pretty effective.
Right.
I'm just throwing out ideas.
Because it's almost as though Charlotte Hale saying that Dr. Ford programmed her to do that is belittling and taking away from the growth and the advancement that Dolores has undergone.
Right.
Because Bernard, aka Arnold, wanted to save the hosts. He wanted to give them sentience. He wanted to make them alive, to make them real, to make them experience realness through suffering.
Yeah.
And then we found out Ford at the very end wanted the same thing.
Yeah.
So I think that they nudged her and gave her the faculties to do it, but I don't think it was like them pushing a button and forcing her hand. I think it was essentially her final act of defiance, her act of self-realization.
Right.
So I think Bernard is trying to say that. It's like, wait a minute, don't say that. That's not true. She did this because she wanted this.
Yeah. Agreed. Yes. I tuned out a little bit there, but yes, 100%. They do what they're programmed to. Now, yeah. Anyway, okay. So they see a thing, a car.
But Charlotte Hale is looking at it from a black and white perspective when it's not a black and white perspective.
Wait.
They do what they're programmed to do.
Oh,
not
yeah,
true.
yeah. She doesn't know how nuanced that their behavior is.
Yeah, she's the one who just recently referred to them as the merchandise.
Right. Yeah. That's a good point. So anyway, they see this thing, and of course this guy immediately is like, "Oh, well, we're saved," because it's like a Humvee or some sort of research vehicle.
Now I was thinking, oh shoot, is this Felix and Sylvester?
Yeah. And all these people. This is what it looks like at those mattress stores on President's Day. Everybody just goes running in.
It was so obvious that something was wrong here, though, because the people at the car were not moving. People were running, but Bernard wasn't doing it. He pulls Charlotte Hale to the side and says, "Don't go," because he knows something is wrong.
Yeah.
I personally was thinking those little red things were going to explode because I have a very video game mind.
No, well,
and red containers always explode.
True. Yeah. Well, they're not barrels. Those are, yes, you're right. Red containers are the explosive container. Yeah. No, I mean, I kind of thought something would explode when they all got up there too, or something. But it, it does. Something's afoot. There are. Things are going on. So this guy's dead. He's like locked up to the car. Someone propped him up there next to the car. These ladies are running around high heels on this land here, man. See, it's tough, man. High heels, no good. They need detachable heels in case of emergencies. So she looks in, they're dead. This is no good. This looks like, and they realize they're in some sort of trap, and then all of a sudden, gunshots ring out, and
it's Wyatt's guys.
Wyatt's fellas with the crazy masks.
It's weird though, because it's almost like, because we know Dolores is Wyatt, that they're honoring Dolores by wearing dresses as well.
Right here. Yeah, kind of. It's kind of a dressy thing, and why not? Dresses look comfortable.
No.
I don't know. Are they
I wouldn't know.
They're air conditioned. If you have a moist chode. Okay, so oh no, look out, my face! Ah, my eyes are already bloody for some reason. That's fucking weird. This looks like if Andy Richter got hit by gamma rays. But anyway, murder guys show up and they murder him, and everybody gets hit. And then this lady, so we recognize from season 1, she was actually the host in the white dress who greets William and Logan at the train when they first arrived those 30 years ago. Obviously, her role evolved from that point.
Right, she is now part of the White Gang, which we know is run by Dolores.
She's a gang leader.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's attractive enough to not have to cover her face, I guess. But they still want her to look like she sort of has a thing that's weird, because it would.
She's like an 80s fitness trainer gone rogue.
Yeah, it's a weird choice. She's got like a pastel, socks, or whatever the women in the 80s would wear, like those, the shoes.
Yes.
Run, no, run. So yeah, this guy goes running off. She gives him a chance to run, and then she just shoots. I think she lets that guy go.
Yeah, I don't think that she fires on him, and I thought she was just going to wait and just show her marksmanship skills by hitting him from a very vast distance, but it never really showed that. It didn't happen.
That didn't do that. But she didn't hesitate to shoot this lady. She just
because she said, "Please let me go too," and
nope.
I guess that was an interruption that she didn't care for.
Not at all. Yeah.
So she painted the ground with her head.
Yeah, that's right. And these two are like, "Oh man, geez, glad we hung out to the side." But Bernard's hands are shaking because he's a little fucked up and things are not looking good. And she's picking up on it.
She doesn't realize that he's a host and that he's leaking fluid out of his brain and all this kind of stuff, and that he's having weird glitches going on.
Leaking fluid out of his brain. All right, so so this guy's explaining what's going on here to her. He's trying to get her to calm down, basically. But everything is nuts.
Well, what he's saying is he's trying to appeal to her logic. He says, okay, it looks like you're in charge right now. It looks like everything's going your way, but bear in mind that this is going to flip the other way. There's a lot more people out there. They have a lot more gunpowder. They're going to come in here. They're going to turn things back around. They're going to decommission you all. And when all is said and done, your best bet is to work with me, listen to me, protect me, and I will vouch for you.
Yeah.
Therefore, I can save you, not you save me.
Right. This tells the story, doesn't it? Somebody busted through this and then dragged their bloody body across it. All right. That's no fun. Bison Bellow. Oh, yeah, yes, I didn't catch that.
The bison's name is Jesus.
Jesus, or is Puerto Rican? Jesus.
Yes.
So yeah, but the bison was cool. I thought they did a good job with it. It was like a neat looking bison. I wish I could go take them for a ride. Your minds are worth billions. So this is kind of interesting though. Like this is sort of the real part of the power. The value of them that they've referred to.
And
as
we
Parasol.
Yep.
Yes.
And we found out in season 1 though that the real value of all of the hosts was the IP. So it's what's stored in the brain. It's the language, it's the algorithms, the code that basically makes them who they are.
Yeah.
And we know that because Charlotte Hale and Teresa were kind of in cahoots trying to save the data of the different hosts. They'd uploaded every single bit of data they could into an emptied out shell of Peter Abernathy, and he was the one they were going to transmit out of the park after I think they failed because
the satellite broke.
The satellite uplink didn't exactly work the way they wanted it to. It didn't accomplish what they wanted.
Yeah,
and
the guy smashed his own head. Remember?
Yeah, the whole problem was that Dr. Ford knew he was going to be fired at some point, and Dr. Ford was the one who could delete all the data at the stroke of a key.
Yeah.
And they knew that they needed to find some way to protect the IP from him because when they fire him, he held way too much power to kind of throw a wrench into all their plans.
Correct. Right. Yep, that's Parasol. Yeah. So then anyway, she sees this Parasol lady and goes over and she's like alive or something. But then she puts her to sleep. So I'm sure she gets her like her rote line from the
And this is a great scene because it shows that Maeve truly has the capacity for compassion towards her own fellow hosts. She shows sympathy. She shows care.
Yeah. Yeah, and she shows a cold-hearted murder instinct because she puts her to sleep using words.
Right, but she did something that Dr. Ford did, but she did it with a lot more love because Dr. Ford was the kind of guy who would walk up to a person who was like modeling or fixing up someone's face and put a modesty towel over his lap and says, they're just pieces of crap and cuts the face or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I remember that scene. That was fun.
It shows that she's special. She is.
She is. Yeah, well, sure. She's
a good... I was thinking that she was going to be the villain and Dolores was going to have to fight her. Now I'm thinking it's kind of the other way around. Dolores is kind of the monster and Maeve is the kind one.
Well, there's a long way to go. And
there is.
This, if anything, we've learned that the writers, creators of the show, they're not going to make things as obvious as they're going to present them. Does that make any sense? Like they're smart enough to twist this roller coaster. We haven't even gotten to the good big spins and turns on the roller coaster yet. There you go. Parasol. Oh look, I should have blocked out those boobies. I think those are man boobies though, so they don't worry about it. Yeah, freeze. She does the thing. Then wait, what? Oh yeah, that's someone else yelling freeze, right? Freeze, don't move.
Yeah,
people are coming in.
The military commando guys.
Yeah, we were leaving and the lights went out.
So she's pretending to be a person right here.
Yes.
And then he basically throws her under the bus and says, what if some of the hosts are running around dressed as if they were human?
And he gives this eye glance.
Yeah, as if to kind of show them, hey guys, shoot her.
Like blink twice if there's some, when the cops knock on the door and you're like, oh, there's nobody in here.
Because they know him. He's Lee Sizemore.
Yeah.
But they don't know her especially. They just know that she's speaking like a human, she's acting like a human, she's dressed like a human.
She's pretending to be human. Which humans, we have one of our great tricks is we're good at deception. We really know how to be like, hey, look over there. Yep. And then she figures out real quick that Lee Sizemore turned her into these, and then it turns into a big gunfight. And even the deer back here has a gun. But all of a sudden, the cavalry shows up. Cow, take that.
So essentially what happens is that the commandos are shooting, they're shooting back at the commandos.
This guy just got back on Ash Wednesday.
Yeah, but Maeve basically steps in and shoots all the commandos at point blank because they trust her. They think that she's one of them, but she uses that trust to her advantage and takes them out.
The commandos think that she's one of them?
Yeah.
I thought that as soon as Lee Sizemore did his eye glance thing that they figured out.
No. They were they weren't shooting at her at all. They trusted her.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. Look at this. I feel like this is what Jerry Garcia did for most of his 40s.
They didn't. Thankfully for Lee Sizemore and Maeve, they didn't catch on.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, gotcha. So anyway, we got bullets flying everywhere, but she does get a hold of one of these. Are these MP4s? Is that what these guns are? I recognize that body style.
See, they're not even looking at her.
No, they're not. Yeah, you're right. They're. So anyway, she shoots them through the glass. Ow, my torso, it hurts. Gunfight, bang, 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 boom, boom.
Yeah, and she basically saves him by telling the cowboy guy that you're not looking for them. The people you're looking for are over there.
Yes. And she's remarkably merciful to
because she wants to find her daughter.
Yeah, yeah. Like she threatens to cut off his precious organ, which we assume is his big toe or his middle toe.
Yes, defeat a tool.
And though it won't make much of a meal, that's not nice.
And he kind of comments like, "I wrote that line for you."
Maybe he's got a small penis.
Well, we'll find
Yeah.
out soon.
We men with small dicks are really sensitive.
we'll see.
I'm sensitive about mine. It sucks. It looks like I have a outie belly button, but in the wrong spot. All right. By the way, Guardians of the Galaxy. Hello, crossover.
Yeah.
There he is. What's the raccoon's name?
Yes, Rocket.
Rocket. He's real sassy. I wrote that line. Oh yeah, she says a line. That's kind of funny. I thought this was kind of cool. What, did I only get one picture of the Rocket? Damn it.
Of the Rocket?
Yeah, I thought I was really entertained that there was a raccoon next to him because they framed the shot to show the raccoon. These guys know what they're doing.
Okay.
You don't like the raccoon? You don't think it's fun?
I like raccoons.
Yeah, they're all right. They got like hands. They're like weird little people with they're like they're like if Oscar the Grouch became a cat.
Okay.
Kinda. All right. Okay. So
this is where Darth Vader threw Emperor Palpatine down.
Spark. Interesting though. I mean, the whole floor thing that they do, like level 83, and like how big is this? It's like an underground skyscraper.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's a map of it. We can look at it afterwards.
Oh man, I regret bringing that up. They come up here to the pool. There's blood in the pool.
And we can remember this is the scene, this is the location where Lee Sizemore first met Charlotte Hale, not realizing that she was a board member.
Yes, he hit on her. Yep, I remember that.
And is that blood in the pool?
Yes.
Yes.
Is some bloody pools.
Some sharks in there.
This is like if this is SeaWorld on period day. Why do they?
You make everything bad.
Why do they? That one came out loud, right?
Yeah.
Fuck me. Sorry. I'm going to make this my OkCupid profile. Just that. All right. I can't make a fire or hunt.
He hates the outdoors, so he's like, how am I going to be a survivalist out in the Wild West, flying around with you, helping you find your daughter? I mean, this doesn't work for me.
This is making me laugh right here.
I could play that role.
You know you had good soup. This guy's a good ramen. All right, so I could have come up with something funnier than that, but it's just funny. Give yourself some credit, darling. And
there's a blood trail going up there. She's looking for someone. She did not come to this place because she wanted to booze or to swim in a pool or anything like that.
Right.
She came to the bar specifically for a reason, and that the bloody steps tells her that the reason she's there might be up those stairs.
Free sunglasses. That could be a reason too. Yeah, so she goes up the steps
and there it is, Hector.
Hector. I think the actor's name is Rodrigo or something
Could
like that. He's drinking. He's relaxing in his bloody smock thing. It looks gross. Now they have a thing. Remember when they killed each other inside the tent that was on fire?
In order they basically burned themselves to death so that they would go in for reconstruction, so they could be, revived by Felix and Sylvester.
Oh yeah, that's when Maeve was a skeleton. Remember?
Yes. Yeah. This is her now.
This is her now. And they're still scared of her when she was a skeleton. Yeah. That's how powerful she was. So anyway, they have a sexual chemistry thing.
And I kind of thought for sure he would have been killed in season 1 because he was up against a lot of odds. She left him behind. But he's happy to find out that she didn't leave the park. She came back.
Okay.
He believes for him, but he's saying, I don't expect that you're coming here for me. And then she reveals her true intentions. No, I'm here because I need you, because I need your help to get my daughter.
She knows she can't do it alone.
Yeah.
So she gets this guy. Fresh off his shift at the ketchup factory. So we'll keep him for now. So they have this guy. They know that he's going to work for them. And Hector, I need you. We're going to go get my daughter. Okay, let's have a kiss. Oh, your beard. I can't believe women tolerate men's beards when they kiss them. It's like, what, you might as well rub your face up against Velcro. It's gross. Yeah. I would shave a circle around my mouth if someone asked me to. That's how much I enjoy kissing.
Lord.
I would do it. Yeah, I mean, you'd only get a couple hours before the growths came back, but, it's... All right, Bernard is having a bad day.
I'm just picturing Bernard with no hair around his lips now.
Oh yeah, with a perfect circle. Yeah, just like a nice circle. It doesn't, keep a little bit of the mustache by the nose, just in case you get some boogers dripping down.
Okay, so now it's just Bernard and Dr. Hale. Dr. Hale. Why is she a doctor now? I don't know.
Well, she's an educated professional. Why not?
And Catherine Hale.
Catherine Hale. So you're gonna catch Hale for that one. I'll see you in Hale.
But yeah, so here's a moment's coming up right now where it's going to answer...
Comedy, comment.
Bop. And it's going to answer a question as to whether or not Arnold, a.k.a. Bernard, a.k.a. Bernard Arnold, actually believes himself to be a host, whether he's self-aware.
Right, yeah. But she opens up this manual override thing with the secret rock switch. That's kind of fun. And then a thing comes out of the ground.
It would have been a lot funnier if Bernard was actually standing on it when it came up and she just didn't tell him.
He's going, whoa, whoa.
How do I get down?
Like as if he'd struggle. Like it's pretty stable, it looks like. Yeah, or he falls and dies.
But what if like one of the people in the house, like a sentient guy comes and I'm gonna build my cabin here, and he builds it like halfway off it and it just rips the cabin apart as it comes up.
Tears it in half. That might happen. You never know. Or what if Dr. Ford's snake was slithering around there and got its fang caught on it? Anyway, they end up back in the.
So Bernard was not aware of this place.
No, Bernard didn't know about this place, which is unusual since he should know pretty much everything that's going on. And it turns out there's like
and here's the key moment right here. She says it's a DNA sniffer so you don't run into any problems inside. It takes two people though. She grabs one of the hands, it reads her DNA, knows that she's human, knows that she's authorized, she's a board member, and it lights up. And she wants him to do it, but he hesitates because he's like, oh shoot, I know I'm a host, but then again, I'm Bernard.
Yeah.
Would Dr. Ford have screwed me over this way? Will it detect me? Will she know? Will this be the end of me?
But he can't.
And his hand is shaking and he reaches out and he has to do it.
He can't die. He has to do it.
He has to do it, yeah.
What's she going to react if he's like, no,
yeah,
I'm not going to touch that?
And then there's a moment where it works out.
Yeah, it works out fine. So
that tells you that he does know what he is.
Well, he still has that that too, but he's also got like clearance still.
Well, yeah, he was banking on that, but
yeah, it'd be weird if it was like, no, get out of here. So anyway, there's a bunch of these big white monster guys walking around. This one comes up behind him and kind of stops, and she's like, oh, he's just trying to walk by. He doesn't think you're a threat.
Yeah, he's already read your DNA,
they know
sniffed your DNA,
scanned.
knows that you're not a threat.
So, but he's like a little freaked out. I don't think he's seen these dudes before.
No,
has he?
Clearly has not.
Yeah, because he's like, what the hell? Jeez, man. What
drone host.
A drone host. So is this just is this just like the Matrix, like upgrades, like a drone? Like what?
Well,
why is...
I mean, they serve functions down there, but they don't exist in the park. These are off-grid hosts, so they're safe to be around because they're not connected to the grid.
Yeah. They're
not influenced by all the malfunctions that are happening to other hosts in the park.
They don't have like an Amazon Dash button to order more toilet paper or more Tide Pods or something. All right, so yeah, there he is. That's man, that's terrifying. Delos has off-network host down. Okay, so there you go. He's lets him go. She gets a face identification with her iPhone X and moves forward, and she gets into the system, and she starts chatting. This is like Telnet. Remember Telnet?
Oh yeah.
But now, what is she trying to do here? She's
trying to get some
help. Oh fuck! All right, I'll. God damn it! I gotta blink at that bush.
This was the most obvious part because there's actually a purpose behind this nudity.
Yeah, I know. There's a big old bush right there, but it. Oh, look, the cowboy hats. Did you notice this?
Yeah, the red and white ones. Red and whites, black and white ones.
Black and white ones.
They can be red,
Yeah, no, normally I do the black boxes ahead of time, everybody. That's why I reacted at that, because it means I got to do it in the... It's harder to do once I have it in a Premiere timeline than do it on just the file before we start to... Okay, whatever. There you go, James. Look.
So what they're doing
is everybody's thinking about becoming a doctor. This is exactly what it's like. It's just messing around with people's bushes.
Right, but what it turns out that they're doing is that this particular host had some sort of encounter with a female guest or a male guest. I don't know which one.
Okay.
But they're swabbing this person to get the DNA of the guest to analyze in their computer system.
Oh, that's what's going on?
Yeah, that's what's going on.
I don't know how you... Okay. All right. Well, I had no idea. I just assumed they were... I don't know. I didn't think of it. I just
they
thought
say
it. Was,
it.
They say it?
They say
it. Well, I wasn't listening. Yeah, that's fine. All right. So they're looking for DNA on his genitals.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Perfect. Man, genitals, they got DNA on the inside, DNA on the outside. Yep. Jeez, what a world, huh? So
she is talking to someone on the outside, X Omega CH.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe that's a code word for... Actually, overriding communications embargo.
Oh, so that's
interesting.
Oh.
But she's basically saying, I need an extraction.
Yes, instructions. So she's deferring to an authority. She wants them to tell her what to do, and you won't get extracted. We have not received our side of the deal, basically.
Right, which we can obviously tell from this point is Peter Abernathy, because Peter Abernathy was the host that they cleared out space in his brain to upload all the host consciousness, all the billions and billions and billions worth of IP data into this particular host to deliver to the outside.
Yeah.
So she believes the package was delivered, but apparently it never got out. So where is Peter Abernathy? Who stopped it? Where is it?
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, I do recall the whole thing about him being put on a train, and that's how they're going to get him out. But I don't remember how that got disrupted. Or
Yeah, I don't know if we've even been privy to that yet.
We might not have. Yeah, so it's hard to know because he's definitely replaced by a new guy when he went nuts. But then they put him in cold storage,
right?
And then they brought him back out of cold storage, and then turned him into a USB drive, into a 32 gigabyte USB drive.
Yeah.
All right, so here they are, putting a thing on his head. So this is the
efficient clinical way of doing
clinical,
it from a sterile perspective.
Whirring. So it just chops open the head properly. There's like a little laser light thing kind of spun around, and that's how they pull out the brain. Which this is a little bit more my speed. You know, I like a nice sterile brain extraction thing. So we got another R2D2 poop. Put it on a little board, plug it in, and we suddenly get a whole bunch of fluid moving through tubes. I don't. What are they? This is all going on while she's talking to this guy. So I guess that's the whole thing.
Bernard is just kind of. So this is where Bernard is saying that you're analyzing the DNA of the guests in the park as well as the data from the mind of the hosts.
Right.
And he's a bit taken aback by this. This was going on without his knowledge.
Yes. Yeah. That, and he's also surprised that they're not coming to help.
This is like Facebook stealing your data.
Yeah. This is Mark Zuckerberg making money off the fact that I like kitchen nightmares. They were expecting a delivery to the mainland, a host that was supposed to arrive yesterday, so he didn't show up. They sent a Grubhub, and the guy didn't get there. Until they get it, we can all forget about seeing any rescue planes until they can retrieve. So that's not. I mean, you'd think they'd still have to save the people's lives. There's got to be legal liabilities.
It's trillions of dollars at stake.
Yeah,
that's all they care about is the IP. What's in the brain?
Money, 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 man. As they say, mo money. Now you have an excessive amount of problems.
What I don't get, though, is if they could easily take the brain out that way, once they loaded all the stuff into Peter Abernathy's brain, is it easier to get a whole host onto a train and take them out there, or just take the brain out, shove it in your purse, and go out there with it?
Chop the head off, throw it over the wall.
You don't need to chop the head off. You can just easily stick that little thing on his brain, pop it out, boom, done.
Chop the head off, put it in one of those water balloon slingshots, and fucking shoot that thing towards the sun, and it'll land it'll land in someone's cafeteria.
Okay.
All right, they want it secured no matter the cost. They need the data. They're all freaking out. So we're going to see, I think that's going to be one of the big foils in this season is the corporate influence. I think we're going to see those army people that they had all running around in the beginning on the beach. They're going to all get into fights with samurais, and they're going to get in fights with the cowboys and with bulls, and hopefully with a wolf or something. All right, so he's driving around his horse, sees a bunch of victims, corpses, horses, comes up on a thing, gets off, and approaches what's I don't remember it. Oh, he's got meat. Nice.
Yeah, campsite.
Little campsite. Thank you, James. They brought a chair. This horse over here is like man, it must be weird when you're a horse and all your people get killed and you just stand around until you die. Okay, so good. Having a little bit of a snack. Then all of a sudden, a little tyke comes by. Who is this? Is this Harry Potter? Is this?
So
I don't.
William clearly knows who this is. William knows
we've
Robert Ford a lot. We've seen him before. We know that he's an original model that was built by William as a
great screenshot.
Yeah, because it's a representation of himself as a child, and when he speaks, his voice is distorted, as it shows, because it's sort of like a broken, like robotic voice that has like an overtone of the older Anthony Hopkins voice layered in over top of it.
Do you think they did it with Anthony Hopkins' voice?
I think they did.
I think they did too.
Yeah.
It was very subtle, but you could kind of just get that hint. And it might be because our brains are conditioned knowing that it's Anthony Hopkins.
Right.
Maybe we did. But it'd also be weird if they didn't use Anthony Hopkins' voice to do that.
The cool thing here is the facade is broken. The boy is not trying to pretend to be anything. The boy is self-aware, and he's speaking to him as though he is Anthony Hopkins himself speaking to him. He's not speaking to him as a little boy.
Yeah.
He's saying, the maze was not for you, but this new quest that we're going on is a different one.
Yeah.
It's where you have to find the door to get out. That is now your new quest. That is your new thing. And yes, this test is designed for you.
Yeah. So, all right, you never rested on your laurels. You made it to the center of Arnold's maze, but now you're in my game. In this game, you have to make it back out. So why is the boy here / what is this game? I know that's the question you're supposed to be asking, but doesn't this encounter rely on an incredible amount of coincidences in order to just get to this point? And so
Ford planned this whole thing.
I know, that's what I'm saying, though, is how could he have such predictive power? Because it seems
What's
like
the predictive power, though? I mean, all he had to do was set all his plans in motion, make sure the park kind of goes in disarray, and just leave his little boy toy out there.
boy toy.
Yeah, boy toy out there. To
Toy boy.
To essentially, if he does encounter William out there, just to say, hey, here's the new thing. Here's the part of the narrative that was designed for you.
I mean, I guess it could be if he encounters him, but it just seems like that these coincidences are necessary in order to tell the story. I'm not sure what point I'm making, honestly.
Well, I don't think it's important inherent to the story, because I think what happens here is that he says that this is your part of the game, but I think at this point the Man in Black / William is of a mind that this world is now what I want it to be. This world is not a riddle anymore. This is a world of my own, something I can mold to my own wants.
Yeah.
So I'm done with your stupid codes. I'm done with your stupid games. I'm done with your maze. I'm done with this door. I don't care about any of that. It's time for you to leave this world once and for all. It's time for my world to begin.
Well, you think it's as simple as just him trying to get him to leave, or that he's actually, because it sounds to me like he's the boy, like that Dr. Ford is setting up William, and they've known each other for a very long time. They go way back, saying like, I've got a whole new surprise for you. Like when rich guys are like, hey, I bought another yacht, come over, and then they
bad blood between the
murder
two.
a homeless guy or
Because
something.
remember when essentially when the Man in Black William went into a bar and Dr. Ford was there, he goes, oh, this is a rare occasion to run into Dr. Ford. And then he pulls out his knife and tries to attack him, but Teddy is controlled by Dr. Ford, grabs his hand and holds him back.
Yeah.
He was going to kill Dr. Ford.
Right, yeah. But the robots had that protective thing built into them, right? To protect Dr. Ford.
Yeah.
what Teddy
Dr.
did.
Ford
Yeah.
initiated it to use Teddy to protect him.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know what I'm really... I think I'm talking about how, like, you could build, like, a Rube Goldberg machine that has kind of a linear progression of mechanical steps, and that's predictable. These are behavioral predictability. However, and therefore I'm saying that the links between setting up one person's characteristics and a whole bunch of other characteristics, and then eventually down the line 3 weeks later, after a bunch of murder, all kinds of craziness happens in the interim, and then you have things happen exactly the way you want, seems unlikely. That's all I'm saying. However, look at this screenshot. Everything is code here, William. He's basically saying it's as simple as code. Maybe I'm not sophisticated enough to imagine how complicated this code is. You know, kind of like that. He's got the theory of everything. I mean, everything just comes down to information and how it interacts on an atomic scale.
But the question here is,
subatomic scale.
does William actually even want to play this game? Does William want to escape, or has he achieved the world that he's been looking for all along?
I don't know, but he sure knows how to dance here. I don't know. What do you think? Does he?
No, we'll find out.
Dr. Ford, is he living in the boy, or is the boy just a robot version of him?
It's a robot version of him. We know that.
Yeah, I know. So what's the point? He's dead.
What?
Why would Dr. Ford bother with this whole boy stuff?
Because Dr. Ford was a control freak. He always wanted to feel like he was in control. He was the one pulling the strings. He was the mastermind behind the scenes, even when beyond his own death.
Yeah,
he was
fair enough.
always about that.
All right, I get you. Okay, I know. People do worry about their legacy. I know it's not like you just turn off the switch.
People have been like that for forever. That's why people killed thousands of people through hard labor to build giant pyramids to themselves and massive monuments so they could live on beyond their own mortal coil.
And like me, like if I when I choke to death here in my room, I just hope I'm wearing pants. Mm-hmm. You know, for your sake.
Yeah.
You know, you're the one's gonna have to find my smelly body.
Yes.
And you're so respectful. You'll probably wait longer than you need to open the door.
No, I'll basically wait for your decomposing body to create enough moisture in the ground that you fall through the ceiling and land in the living room. You're like, oh, there it is.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's fine. But, I mean, if you don't see me for like 5 days, you should probably be like, knock on the door and be like, yo, what, are you in there? And like slide a hot dog under the door and see if my hand grabs it.
On a string. Just have you come crawling face first down the stairs.
But then I get the hot dog and we set up a thing where you start feeding me under the door. I just turn into Gollum. All right, so I guess I don't need you anymore then, punk. I thought this was a fly on his face, but it's actually when people are rich and famous, get that shit cut off.
It adds character.
How is it better than a small scar? Come on, get out of here. L.A. is filled with talented surgeons. Get rid of that shit. Christian Bale, eye booger motherfucker.
Not every role is perfect for someone who has a Botox-infused perfect face.
Like me, like my perfect skin. I have great skin, James, except for all the bumps and stuff.
So we're like hour 5 here.
Yeah, this has gone long. We're getting close to the end, guys. Sorry. Okay, so the boy, he shoots the boy and murders his face and turns him into a dead robot. There you go. We got a dead kid. Gets on a horse, drives off, and that's sad. Dying electronic
Like a
sounds.
broken porcelain doll.
It is. I mean, this shot is both horrifying but also reassuring because it's not a real kid. So they're like, all right, it's just like Haley Joel Osment, big deal, nobody cares.
Yeah, it's like when your mother tells you not to run with a spoon in your mouth. That's
Yes.
what'll happen.
Yes, or not to run when you are a spoon. Get it? Robots are machines. Spoons are like basic machines.
Okay.
All right, so back to the car wash where they wash
And
up.
I was thinking, oh, Felix Sylvester?
Yep.
Nope.
Nope, just some guy. Sorry to disappoint you, James. It's okay. So she's doing some dermal regenerator stuff on her boyfriend here.
I'm pretty sure that's like an electric toothbrush that they just repurposed for this.
Yeah, I know. It's a water pick. But most of it is in here. I don't know what's going on.
He pulls up this big like bloody case that shows like all these guns and things
Oh,
there,
yeah, there
and
you
it's
go.
the gun that was unique to Hector. So I think it's like I found most of your gear is here, so now you can be the Mr. Mayhem as we used to call him in his old black with his special shotgun that he twirls around.
Yep. I think there's a nipple right there, Jim. We're gonna have to fix that thing. Yeah. Okay. Oh god, I got a bunch of. All right, okay, so there he is. Speaking of nipples and bullet wounds, so he gets his gun back, and so they're arming up to go on their thing. Oh yeah, she forces him to strip. Right? She tells the guy, "Okay, pal, you've made us sit here in our nudity."
Yeah, and this is just a power play.
Yeah, this is just letting him know who's boss. There you go. He had a bit of a bulge going on there. James was like, "What is this? What am I watching? The fucking Olympics here? I don't need to see this
We
shit."
should probably power through this one.
Oh yeah, power through it. Okay, she does that. They're doing their thing. And should I make this the screenshot?
No, let's not do that.
That would be so funny. I might do. All right, there they go. Cowboy hat, sort of. Okay, fine. Ooh, pretty. So now we got Dolores and Teddy off on a nice little date. Maybe they're having a nice time here. I don't know. They're just having a nice... She starts explaining a bunch of shit about... She's pissed off.
And this is kind of...
I'm losing track of what's going on.
This is a continuation of what happened when she was talking to the people in the high heels on the crosses and everything, where she was kind of being cold, callous, savage Dolores.
Calling them things is very like, whoa.
Right, because the person that Teddy loves, the Dolores that he loves, is the rancher's daughter. He doesn't love I don't get the impression that he loves the Wyatt Dolores.
Right.
That the killer instinct Dolores. Because the look on his face was one of kind of horror when he saw her becoming that way. And now she's out there alone with him out in the prairie, and she's talking about people as them and us, and he's like, wait a minute, who are they? Who are we? Because he doesn't see the world that way. He's a more compassionate person. He's still the same Teddy that he was when he was out trying to save Dolores from Rebus in the barn at the Abernathy Ranch.
So you don't think he's evolved at all? Like
I don't think his malice has evolved in the way that hers has, and rightfully so. Hers has there's a reason for it.
It's justifiable.
Yeah, very justifiable.
Or
but
at least understandable.
But I don't think that he relates to her in the way that she thinks he relates to her now. I think that there's a gulf between the two of them.
Yeah, I think that's well said. But he still seems to be loyal. He wants to be helping and protective.
Right, and she says that. She says, one thing in my life, despite all the turmoil, is the one constant is you.
Aww.
Is that you don't change. You're always a moral person. You're always you're always the white knight.
Yes. Yep. We just need a small... Yeah, he suggests they just settle down, and she's like, hell no, we will never be safe. We got to go kill everybody, because there's more worlds than this one. And then she's talking
about the real world. Yeah. They're going to take over the world, the entire world, not just Westworld.
So she's ambitious. I mean, my God, just focus on your own area, then branch out. I mean, geez, come on, Richard Branson, calm down. That we don't know anything about. So, but she says she remembers all the pain, everything so clearly is still in her, and it's kind of like, instead of being overwhelmed by her past, she's finally sorted it all into an operating philosophy. Would you say that's true? Mm-hmm. All right, great.
And I was thinking, like, at this moment, he just looks at her and goes, Dolores, I think we should see other people.
Yeah, this is the weirdest date I've ever been on. I can't. I mean, I was okay with murdering all those people, but taking over other worlds. Yeah. Oof, sorry, I'm just gonna step out of the Scientology center and walk away.
And it's making me wonder if it's gonna boil down to like a very end where Dolores has just kind of gone off the deep end, where she's now like the to use a Portal reference again, she's like the GLaDOS. She has completely lost her freaking mind, and Teddy's the one who has to put her down.
That's right. That's right. And I'm not even going to explain what GLaDOS is. Okay, everybody, look it up. I have no idea what it is. So she wants to step up this fight. And she wants to finish it on her terms.
And she wants it to end with just them, you and me.
And then she seals the deal with a kiss, just like James and I do when we finish doing these recordings.
Yes. Data transfer complete.
Yeah, this is... They both have blue tongues because it's USB 3.0.
Yes.
So... Oh, look, she's got an ear pierce. Is that?
I noticed that too when I was watching. I was like, shouldn't they? Yeah, that's, I guess.
Well, would that? But would it make sense that the Dolores character would have a pierced ear?
Yeah.
They were poking holes in ears long before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Modern era. You didn't just have to go to the mall next to the Dippin' Dots and the decorative watch kiosk.
And you can see where Teddy's spray tan begins and ends.
Right here.
Yeah.
His neck spot there. Yeah, I guess so. Maybe his cheek gets more sun because he's looking forward. Anyway, nice kiss. Who doesn't love a good smooch? They're both attractive.
Yep.
So have at it. Not that people who aren't attractive shouldn't also be kissing. I think everybody should be kissing. That fucking raccoon should be kissing.
Yep.
That's why he's in a cage.
And they look in each other's eyes and say, "That was adequate." Because they're robots.
Yeah. Windows processing complete or versions incompatible.
Yes.
Okay. So that's somebody.
Synchronizing tongues.
Speaking of attractive women, this horse drives up with a lady on top of him or her.
So this is the original host woman who, again, we saw in the white dress, who welcomed William into the world, who became part of Wyatt's gang and is now Dolores' Wyatt. Wyatt, she controls them, so she's reporting back in.
Yeah, she's kind of like a lieutenant in her little army or something.
She says, "I need you to see the truth, something that apparently of great paramount importance."
Right.
But what could it be?
Hale. Okay, so now we're cutting to Bernard and Charlotte Hale here. But what a shot, huh? The silhouette of a cowboy hat and a guy and a sun, and you got some.
And I think it's Teddy.
Organic.
I think Teddy is definitely doing some soul searching here. It's like, what the heck have I gotten myself into?
Yeah. Woof. Boy, I thought I was attracted to crazy chicks, but this is a whole new level. That's what he's thinking. That's which I understand. Teddy, we've all been there, my friend. Nothing more attractive than a blue dress, James.
Okay. So now we're back down in the secret laboratory with Hale
yellow dress
and Bernard.
So she's referring. No, he brings up this thing that he knows that she doesn't, which is that this is very interesting. Did you think this was interesting?
Yeah, the whole subconscious link thing, where he's basically saying we need to find Peter Abernathy. We need to know where they are, so we're going to post a query into the neural network and have the hosts start querying each other around the world.
Yeah.
And once they query each other, the one that just got queried is going to query the ones around them, and they're going to query the ones around them, and eventually it's going to be sort of like this Charles Xavier mutant thing. You know how when he puts the thing in what's that thing called? I can't think of it right now. It's the giant machine.
The X-Men? The
giant machine he puts on his head.
Where
he can see all the mutants.
The Daedalus kiosk.
I can't think of it right now.
It'd be amazing if I knew what the hell you were talking about. I do know what you're talking about. I can't think of the word.
Yeah, I'll as soon as we stop recording, I'll think of it.
But anyway, this is kind of like self-driving cars communicating with each other.
Yes,
they communicate
spreading out.
They communicate locally, but that
spreads out to the other ones until they eventually find the host they're looking for.
Yes.
So he's going to initiate this kind of a process.
Yes, yeah, like ants in a colony. Although ants don't use telepathic communication, they use chemicals to communicate with each other. Because if you ever have ants, you just clean their path, and then they totally lose where they're going. Mm-hmm. Then they have scouts and they reconnect and
the
stuff.
chemical trails that are lost. Yes.
Yeah.
That's how we killed the ants in our apartment.
Yes, so we also had a vacuum
and
a whole bunch of
the chemical trail thing was the major thing. That was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we murdered those motherfuckers, and don't feel bad about killing ants. There's plenty of them. Don't worry about it. It's all fine. They'll query the hosts around. Okay. Oh yeah. So this is him explaining how that network thing works, but. He uses this opportunity. There's one of those guys. That's me without my makeup on. She's distracted, right? A decommissioned. So this is where she explains.
She reveals that it is what we thought it was. It's Peter Abernathy. That's the host they're looking for.
That's who has
he's
the data.
got all the data in his head.
Yeah. So but now that he's lost, that's a huge problem, man.
Yeah.
That's
and all they care about is the money.
Right. So what is Bernard? He hints that he's going to do work on this guy, and he is, but he also needs to do some surgery on himself.
Yeah, he is. Basically what he's doing is he's doing the process as he said, but he's also running a diagnostic on himself at the same time.
So this is the guy.
Yeah, the diagnostic reveals that he's going through a critical death process, and he has like 0.72 hours left to live. unless he does some sort of repair to himself.
There you go.
And we know that he's leaking brain fluid out, so he has to replenish that somehow.
Look, host ID, that's him right there.
Yep.
Pairing with host. Yeah, so critical corruption, host status. Oh, look at the brain, whole brain skull thing there. That's pretty neat. It's kind of disappointing that medical records don't have these. They should all have just like your skeleton on the front. All right. So yeah, he's plugged in. By the way, did it look like the plug here was like an old iPhone plug?
It did kind of,
the flat one. I thought it was. And why not? It's still electricity, right? So he's keeping an eye on her because she's doing something with the I don't know. She's busy or whatever, playing Connect 4. But he has to do this whole thing with himself. He
can barely hold it together. He is shutting down, literally. His
cortical
motor
fluid, 8%.
Yep. He needs an oil change.
That's a misspelling. Cognitive is not spelled cognitive. It's ITIVE, right?
Yeah, that looks wrong to me.
That's totally a misspelling. I got him.
Yeah, I don't think that. Maybe that's an alternate acceptable spelling. I've never seen it spelled that way before, though.
It's a misspelling. That's not
cognitive.
It's not cognitive.
That's how Boston people say it.
Yeah.
You got a cognitive problem.
Yes, cognitive. Man, that Boston accent, huh? Boy, that is something else. Gloucester. There you go. That's all. That's my boss. That's my Matt Damon impression.
I'm from Gloucester.
What?
Yeah.
There's more than one?
Gloucester, Virginia.
Is it spelled Gloucester?
Gloucester.
It's called what?
Gloucester.
Get out of here. Get out of here. That's a prank. You and your people got pranked. That's stupid. Change the signs. I disagree. All right, so anyway, Bernard has a lot of trouble here. He's, this is an emergency situation, and he needs to take some emergency action. Luckily, he knows exactly what to do.
Cerebro.
Oh, yeah. Wait, what is that?
That's what Xavier uses. That's his machine, Cerebro.
That's right, yeah.
That was killing me.
The big big Epcot Center ball.
Now I can focus again.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's what it was.
No, I think you're right. Cerebro. And Magneto was the guy who bends the fence. Loss of motor functions, cognitive dissonance.
No, there's cognitive spelled correctly.
Is cognitive dissonance the right choice? Isn't cognitive dissonance the difficulty you feel emotionally when you're reconciling conflicting ideas in your brain? Like, people don't like to be given information that contradicts what they believe, therefore they experience cognitive dissonance.
I think they wanted to bring a term back from season 1.
Yeah, but it probably does fit in it, but I feel like they're going for something.
I don't think it was the best term to use. But
I shouldn't be judging. Who the hell am I to talk? Aphasia and prosopagnosia. I know what aphasia is altered speech.
Yeah.
Something.
That was the name of both my dogs growing up.
Yeah, aphasia and prosopagnosia. Yeah, wow, that's
no
a good
idea
name.
what those mean.
The name of my dogs growing up was I think we had one named
Bernard and Arnold.
Bernard Arnold and Anthony Hopkins.
Yes.
And all right, so we had a hamster named Dizzy because he had an inner ear disorder.
Well, that's just screwed up.
Spun around all day long until he almost had his foot cut off.
Okay, so terminal malfunction, 0.72 hours left to go until you shut down and die, Bernard.
Do the math. That's about 40 minutes or so.
Yeah, give or take, yeah.
It's roughly 3/4 of an hour.
So it makes me wonder. So essentially, he has to do something without Charlotte Hale scene that's going to basically save his life or extend his life for a little bit, because we know that his fluid levels in his brain are critically low, 8%.
Yeah, which although I didn't catch that 8% watching that shot.
I didn't either. But
we did know you. So anyway, so what he does is he takes his giant syringe, pokes it into this host's brain, knowing that there's like that amniotic sac in there, which we now know, and extracts the white stuff. This is where we get milk. When we don't have milk, milk is gross. Milk is disgusting. And then pulls it out and pokes it into his own head and fills it back up.
So I think it's fairly safe to say for 100% clarity that he does know he's a host.
It seems like it, yeah. This is
I
the
would ever do
event that we were referring to way back 4
the
hours ago.
The event that I was referring to way far back wasn't exactly this. This is the Grand Slam one, but I was talking about the DNA on the door handle, the hesitation to do that.
Oh,
that was a more subtle way of him showing that he knows.
All right, yeah. You're okay, yeah. So he knows he's a host.
And him just laying back like, oh, what's up? Nothing wrong. Everything's good.
Yeah.
Acting all nonchalant.
Right, yeah. I'm not doing anything.
It was funny if he forgot to pull the needle out and he just turns and it's like flopping and wiggling out the side of his head.
Yeah, it's bouncing around. Like a cigarette when cigarettes on someone's lips in a movie and it like stays stuck.
He's like, what is that, Bernard? No, this is nothing. I always had this.
It's been here the whole time.
It's a birthmark.
I've had this. It's a birthmark. What, a birthmark is a partially filled syringe with robot brain fluid. Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing, Bernard? Abort me, try and fail.
He goes, you have one too. And he reaches up and pulls a quarter out from behind her ear and just, no. And he goes, I'm shopping for a boat. And she goes, are you buying a boat? That's a Seinfeld joke.
Yeah.
So location query complete. So they're figuring out where something.
So this does show that he actually did do the query for Peter Abernathy. It did work. They found where he is, and he points him on the map. He has basically zeroed in, triangulated Peter Abernathy.
All right, so quick question. Do you think that this is all they're going to do as far as his brain fluid issue goes, or are they going to stretch that in? Because it feels like that's not enough to fix it.
Well, I think it's going to be
it might be enough to buy him some time.
Because here's the thing. That was the prior timeline, right? Now we're going to jump back into the present. So now he's back with the guys that he met on the beach.
Yeah.
So we don't know how much time passed between the time he was with Charlotte Hale and the time this happened. We don't know where Charlotte Hale is.
Okay, yeah.
We don't know. Maybe he had to kill her when she discovered there are multiple Bernards and she found out. We don't know what his brain fluid is going on right now. We don't know what kind of other repairs he's done to himself. There's a lot of unknowns at this point.
Okay.
How did he end up on the beach after that interaction with Charlotte Hale?
Yes.
We don't know.
We don't know. I wonder what episode we're going to find out how he got to the beach.
Yeah, hopefully soon.
Is that the structure of the whole season or just a couple episodes or something? But I thought this was Dolores for a second. I was like, what the fuck? So there's corpses, there's bodies. It's not just people.
And the cool thing about it is that this kind of hammers home that whole 2-week thing, because if you look at the corpses as they step over them, you can tell these are human corpses, and they're bloated and they're rotting.
There's a vulture.
They've been there for a while.
They put the vulture on the HBO button thingy, and look at this foot. That's
it's coming off.
Yeah, your diabetes is advanced, lady. You got to get that taken care of. But yes, so the bloated bodies. Even when I saw the bloated bodies, I was like, oh, maybe they just took them. Maybe they just bloated rot really fast. Nope. It's hot and it's overnight.
Overnight.
Well, because I still in my brain, I'm thinking this is the next day because I'm dumb. I'm kind of dumb. And but no, there's flies everywhere. They're all gross and bloated and nasty. And yeah.
I mean, look at her.
It's like I should have figured it out. I was never very good at Sherlock Holmes board games and stuff. There he goes. Everybody's nasty. So it just didn't make sense that it would take this long. You'd think like the bodies would be recovered fairly quickly. I mean, bodies are usually removed from the scenes within a few hours at least. And especially these are all rich, powerful corporate people. I mean, I don't know. I mean, okay. Oh, look, the cans. I
was thinking all that gunfire and no one shot at the cans.
Yeah, I know.
The first thing I do.
But the movie The Jerk with the shooting the cans and the oil shooting. Okay. There they go, walking around. This lady's a little too into it.
Carl Strand again, who we know that
right there.
We saw in the very beginning of the episode.
That's right. Yep.
He doesn't know. No one knows that this is a host following them. Bernard, yeah. I was like, who else is a host? What?
So flies everywhere.
Somehow he's lost his glasses. He left them at the beach. I guess he didn't take them with him.
That could be. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, he didn't. He didn't have them when he woke up.
Which technically he doesn't really need them, I don't think.
Probably not. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so there's the doctor, Dr. Ford, dead as a dead old man, and he flips him over. And,
you can tell he's been dead for a little bit.
Woo! Good acting, though. What an actor, huh? Man, those maggots weren't there when he showed up on set, and all of a sudden they appeared. That's how good he is. Yeah, so there you go. That's what everybody looks like inside your coffin. I don't want to be in a sealed coffin. I just want to be turned into mush and just squirted into the toilet. Burn me or put me into the river and just let the bugs eat me. I don't really care. Yeah. Throw me in the woods, James. I want you to dispose of my body, and I want you to go to jail for improperly handling a dead body.
I can do that.
That's my only wish. And I do want flames shot into my corpse.
Flame shot into your corpse?
From arrow flames.
We'll make like little holes in your corpse and just shoot like little big lighters in there?
Well, I want it being done as the ambulance is driving me off.
Okay.
Just start shooting arrows at the ambulance.
Just blow the ambulance up. Yeah.
Okay. Getting fired was going to be the worst part. Okay, so they're cracking jokes, and it's not really. So they're like, Bernard, because they think he knows something.
Yeah, what happened here?
He probably
Explain to us what happened.
I mean, they're correct to assume he would know something.
And they notice as they go there, all the hosts are missing. It's like, where do they all go? And they actually, I think...
They wound up...
You may have missed it, but I think that there was like a screenshot that showed these little yellow dots all over our radar.
Got it. It's coming up. Yep, it's coming up. But they take off in their cool vehicles.
Going down Fury Road.
Fury Road. Going down.
Maybe Bernard on the back with a guitar,
leaning forward and just with like they've got like one truck filled with women. Wasn't that in that movie like there's like 4 women in the milk or something? Or
no, 4 women in the water truck that Furiosa has. Yeah. She's trying to save the wives.
Save the models. They're hot
and they're pregnant.
Oh,
one was.
One was.
And she died.
Spoiler. Okay, so they go off. One of the okay. Oh, this part. This
is a really
interesting.
important thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So they come up and they find a big ass tiger.
A Bengal.
Bingle.
Bengal.
Bangle.
Bengal.
How do you say it?
Bagel.
Bangle.
Bagel.
Bagel. Say the word pen.
Bungle.
Pin. Pen.
Tin.
Man, you people from the South, you guys are causing all kinds of trouble. Bengal tiger, right? I think, but that face, look at that face. It's cat face, but weird. I was like, what the? So what do you make of this?
Well, the important thing is that this is the first time this has ever happened in the history of the park. This came from a different park, Park 6.
Park 6.
Which tells us that there's at least 6 parks out there. Previously, we only knew of the 2, Shogun World and Westworld. So now we know there's multiple, and that they're connected via some sort of terrestrial connection.
Right.
Which means that they're not inside domes or anything like that. They can travel, maybe it swam across the river or across the sea or the ocean to get there. Who knows? But it does, I think this is a harbinger to show that the Shogun World guys, which we know from the trailer is going to happen, that they have a way to get into the park. That maybe they're going to send out a signal, they're going to infect other parks if it hasn't already started to happen yet, which I presume that it has. And they're going to aggregate together into Westworld for a massive battle.
So maybe Shogun World is Park 6?
Well, it could be,
because you're speculating that the tiger. But now, are there tigers in? I know there's tigers in Asia.
I'm not saying that it's specifically from Shogun World. I'm saying that the crossover between different parks has now been proven to be a possibility.
Yeah.
This is opening the door to that, and that's obviously going to happen because we see Maeve in Shogun World in the attire and stuff in the trailer for season 2, so we know it's going to happen. And this is paving the way for it.
So, but I got the sense this is not an accident, though. Like somebody set this in motion, either enabled the animal to travel somehow, or somebody brought the animal there,
or as a scout.
Maybe not to this
beach,
yeah. But brought the animal into Westworld that doesn't belong there. But do you think it's something like, oh, they found an air vent that broke, and now they're all walking through?
Well, it just shows that there's a possibility, because before we didn't have really any idea as to how the parks were connected, how far apart they were, what the possibilities were for interaction or crossover between the two worlds.
Yeah.
Now we know if a tiger can escape from one of them and end up on the shore of Westworld, that it's a very big possibility.
Sure.
That it's a definitive possibility because it happened.
Yeah. All right. Or maybe this is a Walking Dead crossover.
Could be.
Okay. So anyway, they're like, oh, where are all the hosts? We don't know. And so they are locating them, and they've figured out they're all here. That's a pretty dense cloud there, huh? Host sector zone. Okay. Strand. Okay. All right. I was just looking for words. What are they all up to? Let's go find out, everybody. Let's go have a look. So off they go. They're checking it all out. And some more swearing. These sinners. Sin so sinful. And they come up with this cool. They're like, there was no water here before. What the hell? I didn't know. How did Dr. Ford do this much? A fucking sea? They called it a sea. That doesn't look like a sea. You can see the other side of it. It's a lake.
This could be what
lakes.
Bernard...
You can see across lakes.
Well, maybe they're trying to say that this is the ocean that Bernard dreamed of.
No, that could.
And
be.
Because they want it to be massive in scale, they call it a sea here specifically, but not to call it an ocean because it'd be too on the nose.
Sure. Yeah, and it's certainly not an ocean.
No.
I mean, I think of a sea as just like a giant, big ass.
So
lake.
I'm curious.
Lake Michigan is a lake, but you can't see across it.
Once we get through this scene, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it as to what happened here after Bernard gives his final line.
Okay, all right. So where the hell did it come from? He doesn't know where he's talking about the lake, the sea. I mean, and then this guy gets.
It was all the fluid that leaked out of his ear.
It's a big, gross bucket of brain milk. So we have evenly distributed corpses. I find that strange that they're all sort of like just spread out nicely. Like, wouldn't they be clustered near the shore, sort of, or drifting in kind of clouds of like krill? But anyway, so bodies everywhere. These are all hosts, so they're all dead.
Right.
They're all, and Bernard's like, oh man, that's crazy. And so everybody's just turned into water bodies. Bernard walks up. He's intrigued by something, and. I don't know who this was. They made a point of him to notice this particular body here, this person, and yes, I killed them. I was not expecting him to say that. This looks like Kyle MacLachlan from...
Kyle MacLachlan?
Yeah, from Twin Peaks. Doesn't
No.
it look like Dougie?
No.
Right there, it looks just like Dougie.
It look a thing like Dougie to me.
Well, it's kind of hard to tell, but I don't actually think that. I'm just saying, I don't know who this is. This a recognizable person?
I am not recognizing that person. I mean, it looks more like Teddy than anyone to me, but I know that can't be Teddy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a white guy with dark hair is about all we can really tell. And I don't know. I mean...
too young to be Teddy.
Yeah, he's just somewhat younger. I mean, you never know. And your face gets bloated, your wrinkles go away. Yeah. So that's the end there. That's it. But they made a point to show this person.
Maybe it'll make more sense in a following episode.
Or somebody
Who
in the
knows?
comments can tell us. Tweet James at VideoJamesSP.
Okay.
He
So-
loves Twitter, by the
All
way.
right. So is that the last screenshot?
Yeah, we're at the end. So you want to know about this?
Yeah, so what is your interpretation of this? What does it mean when Bernard said, I killed them? What is the deal with the sea being there that no one knew was there? What is this all about?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
Does
I
it
assume-
relate to that flash in the screenshot that we missed where Bernard is remembering
Shooting.
firing that gun? But I don't think it happened here.
Okay, well, this is just coming up with something because I feel like I should, because you asked. I don't think he killed them directly. I think he meant he set the circumstances in motion in which they all eventually died. He feels responsible for their death, like when like a train accident, but he works at the train company. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Does that make any sense?
Do you think it's possible at all that he wrote the maps in such a way that he led people to believe, from a programming perspective and from a physical perspective, that there was a landmass there, that there was never a sea there, such that no one had a course to go out there for any particular reason whatsoever, but he set it in motion so that that was the implication. And he had a fail-safe code that he would run, and that code would essentially tell all of the hosts to make a pilgrimage, sort of like set a waypoint for this area out
Right,
here,
yeah.
and say, under these X circumstance, go to waypoint X.
Yeah.
They go there thinking it's land, but because they're programmed to go there, not realizing it, they end up drowning themselves like lemmings in the process.
I have a new theory. You're smarter than me is my new theory.
No.
I think you're right. That sounds very accurate, or very on point with... I'm having a hard time picking that apart, which is how you prove something is not correct, I think. I don't know. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
He clearly didn't jump on him like Kratos and God of War and ripped them apart and like slammed them with hammers and axes. He didn't physically kill them.
Yeah.
He set the like you said, he set the circumstances up for
Right.
their demise.
Yeah, no,
But if that's true, why would he do it?
I don't know.
What was his motivation? Because he was in a park, he's a host himself, there's humans there that are trying to kill the hosts.
Yeah.
Why would he suddenly lend his allegiance to the humans, knowing what they've done all this time and knowing what the circumstances are? Why would he enact that code?
All great questions. I don't know. He's a very difficult character to understand. Well, let me just finish this because not that I have much here, but I mean, his whole thing is about being confused. He doesn't know who he is. We didn't know who he was. He's a behavior guy. He's a little bit cold, meaning like you don't. Bernard in general, you don't really have a good bead on exactly what motivates him. I mean, I know he has grief and stuff like that, but it's a very difficult thing to figure out. But it sounds like you're onto something. But or what?
Or is he showing grief that he killed them? He's telling him that he killed them because he knows that aligns him with Carl Strand here. Is his name Carl Strand?
Yeah, Carl
Strand.
Carl with a K. CK.
Calvin Klein.
Oh, okay.
So he aligns him with theirs, saying that
Gucci.
So he says, "I'm one of you. I did this to protect the people in the park." But or maybe was he trying to protect the host by basically playing? When you play Age of Empires, you like click a drag a box around there, and you left click or right click to send them off to a certain waypoint.
You select a lot at once, and yeah.
Maybe he like really quickly said, "Okay, I'm just going to get these guys out of town. I'm going to put them out here where they can't be killed or captured." Like, oops, I forgot there was a sea there. I told him to walk into the water.
Or he didn't know there was a sea there, and because Dr. Ford is the one that made the sea thing happen.
But
because that's what they talk about. They're like, what is this?
They said there's no way that Dr. Ford could have done that. That's too massive. And
Really?
I believe that to be true. There's no way Dr. Ford could have done that.
Yeah, but the whole thing about Dr. Ford is that he's got these powers we don't quite know because he has his hands in the entire thing. You know what I mean? Like he's got strings attached. He's the wizard behind the curtain.
To do something that massive without anyone else knowing, that seems a little bit of a stretch.
The whole thing's a big stretch. The entire show requires us to suspend our disbelief, so it totally makes sense that he could do that. I think. I mean, I'm not saying it looks like it's easy. Let's get back to a wider shot of the lake area. Yeah, like this, like where they're like, "Whoa, what the hell?" So, but we don't know what are they just. I mean, these rocks seem placed in order to show that there's land there, I guess. So
and I'm assuming that,
I don't know.
When he was talking in the beginning to Dolores about the dream about the ocean that he's around, I think this is what he meant.
Yeah.
I agree that's not an ocean, but I think that's...
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this was foreshadowed somehow.
Right. It doesn't have to be the Pacific Ocean.
No.
maybe this is how the tiger got here. He was surfing or on the water, and then like rawr, and like the water flowed in and brought the tiger. Maybe the tiger body wasn't even a living before he landed here. Maybe it was just a floating body on the other side.
Maybe.
That makes no sense, but it seems connected since they found it in sequence. So I don't know, man. I think that your theory is pretty good. That somehow either it was a deliberate trick or some sort of fail-safe thing, and it could be that they're just going to collect the bodies out of the water and go reboot them into the thing, which has got to be resource intensive, but they can reset. It's kind of like a massive kill-off, like when you're at a wedding and you just like fart in the I'm trying to think of something funny. I was going to say something about spiking the punch bowl, but do they have punch at weddings?
They could, yeah.
I haven't been to a wedding in a long time, but I have been going to lots of divorces lately. Well, I don't know. Good theory. I don't know. I got nothing. So anyway, James, anything else you want to add to this?
Nope. I got to go to bed.
Yeah, I know. It's 11 o'clock, and I've got to do about 6 hours of editing now. Maybe not 6, 4. And I'm only going to animate a little. I can't do all the animation. I was going to make your character a bunch of stuff, but I didn't get to it this time, so I'm going to do it next week. You're still going to get punished for being such a nice, accommodating person. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. We hope you enjoy. If you're still listening to this, you must be into it somehow. I never understand the people that don't like stuff that are still like listening. What are you doing? Yeah. Is your life really that meaningless? Come on, go find something that you mildly like.
I hate watch stuff too.
I get it. I know there's a certain thing there too. And if people are hate watching, that's fine too. You're just helping us out. We'll take it. But yeah, that's it. Westworld episode 1 of season 2. Thank you very much, everybody. Find us on Twitter. Find us in the comments. We do like to engage comments about theories and stuff. There's lots of new avenues to explore with this whole second season. I really feel like I'm in the dark, much like the first season. And Patreon as well. That's a thing we have going on. From last time we did Westworld, people were like, hey, make a Patreon. And we were like, okay. And it took me like 6 months because I'm terrible at this stuff. But we do a podcast every week. We got I think 11 episodes already up, and $5 gets you the podcast. You can throw us $1 or $2, or not. Doesn't matter. You can also share it. There's all kinds of ways to help, or just watch it and have a good time. That's that simple. It's nice and easy, man. This is just a good family.
Now, what would you do? This is kind of
we're all a big family, James.
What if someone took like one of the? This is silly to even think about. But what if someone took one of the podcasts and uploaded it to YouTube?
They could do that.
I'd be fine with that.
Well, I wouldn't.
I don't think anyone would care to do that. But you could. That'd be funny though if that actually did happen.
No, I would take a copy. I would try to take it down for
really?
copy. Yeah, it's our content. We own that. That's not theirs.
Yeah.
That's different. If someone made a video and
I'd be more flattered than anything.
Why? If they just copied it and posted it, that's different. That's not the same as like we're in like a fair use situation. You want to respond to something, you add your own voice, you add your own take, you add something to it. But if you just posted it, that's not okay. That's like if we just recorded. We're already bad enough with taking screenshots.
Yeah, I'm thinking who are we to say that?
But what you're describing is if we just screen recorded the entire episode and put it up. Yeah. That's different. That's wrong. We're adding things to this. I could see us losing. I could see us losing a court case. Of course. I don't think the justice is distributed totally fairly. But I wouldn't be okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna post parts of podcast episodes. That's an idea I want to do, just to sample it for our people on our channel. But no, that's what you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I better go pass out now.
All right.
I got to work in the morning.
You clearly regret bringing that up.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, thank you everybody. Thank you, James. Goodbye. We'll see you next week. We're off to the good start.
Yay.
All right. Bye.